The Indians woke up their slumbering lumber in a big way last night. It won't be easy to keep it going tonight, though. Reigning Cy Young Award winner Zack Greinke leads the Royals against the Indians. Next on Sports Time Ohio. It's another gorgeous night for a ball game in downtown Cleveland as the Royals and Indians will play Game 2 in this three-game weekend series. The Tribe will try for overall their third straight win and their second straight win against KC. Good evening and welcome into our broadcast. Along with Rick Manning, I'm Al Pulowski, and boy, the story last night for the Indians, Rick, it was their offense. The bats truly came alive.
Well, at 15 runs, that's the season high for the Indians this year, and it was fun to watch because they had to take some frustration out on somebody. They hit three-run homers in the ball game. They had 10 extra base hits. Look at hitters 7, 8, and 9. 7 for 13. In their previous 7 games, they only had 14 runs. So it was fun to watch, and I know they had a good time in that dugout when they can continue that. But tonight may be a different story.
You're absolutely right. Last night was a lot of fun, but tonight for Kansas City, Zack Greinke's on the hill, and in his last 8 starts against Cleveland, Rick, he's 5-0.
Well, this guy can go out and put an end to anybody's offense. He's got a very good slider. He moves his fastball around. Of course, the reigning Cy Young Award winner last year. He had 15 strikeouts against the Indians almost a year ago to this day, and you can see 4-0 in his last 2 seasons. But Genmar Gomez, he was beat by Zack Greinke 2-1. He gave up 2 solo homers in his last game, but he's 2-0 in this ballpark, and Greinke's just 2-5 here.
So we'll see what happens. Genmar Gomez loved to pitch at Progressive Field, especially here in his rookie year. Coming up next, the starting lineups and all the play-by-play for tonight's game. Tonight, gorgeous night for a ball game. Indians and Royals Game 2 in this 3-game series. Some of the fans already here in the ballpark getting ready for it, enjoying some of the sunshine as the Tribe will look to win their 3rd straight game and their 2nd in a row over KC. And tonight, Genmar Gomez taking on the reigning Cy Young Award winner, Zack Greinke. There's Genmar having a good rookie year and loves pitching here in Cleveland, 2-0 with a .98 ERA. In 3 starts at home this season. Let's take a look now at the lineup that he'll be facing tonight from Ned Yost's Kansas City Royals. And it will lead off with Gregor Blanco, who snapped an 0-for-10 streak at the plate last night with 4 hits. Then it's Kendall, Kaihue, Bettamy, Gordon, and Bloomquist. There are your top 6, followed by Meyer, Betancourt, and Chris Getz at second base.
Genmar Gomez, brought to you by the Indians Team Shop, where you get 2 tickets for any home game when you spend $50. At the Indians Team Shop, Genmar Gomez making his 7th start, 3-2 with a .362 earned run average. This will be his 2nd start against the Royals and Zack Greinke. He lost to them 2-1. He gave up a couple of solo home runs, really did pitch a good game. 6 innings, 7 hits. But those 2 solo home runs ended up costing him no run support. We'll see if his boys saved anything in the tank that they gave last night. Hopefully they do have something left. Let's check out the defense behind Gomez tonight. It's Crow, Brantley, and Chu in the outfield. It'll be Nix, Cabrera, Donald, Laporta on the infield. Behind the plate will be Lou Marson. And we will look early for Gomez because the sinker baller, see if he can get the ground ball.
And here are the umpires for tonight's game. Jim Joyce calling the balls and strikes. Darrell Cousins at first base. Mike Estabrook is at second. Jim Wolf is at third.
You know, you look at Gomez in his young career, and there's Ned Yost, the manager for the Royals, going for career win number 500. When you look at the guys that Gomez is matched up against, you think about his first start against Detroit where he went 7 innings. That was a rookie in Oliver. But since that point, Jesse Lish in Toronto, Liriano with Minnesota, Millwood with Baltimore. This is the second time for Zach Greinke, and also his last start, Justin Verlander in Detroit. So he's been matched up against some pretty good pitchers.
Well, it hasn't been easy for Chinmar Gomez, that's for sure. And tonight with Zach Greinke doesn't get any easier. Zach has pitched very well of late in his last 3 starts. Greinke is 1-0 and given up just 4 earned runs in 22 innings pitched. So we'll see him in the bottom half of this inning. First up, though, for KC, here is Gregor Blanco, who this season is hitting .635 against the Tribe.
Is that all?
Not bad, huh?
Well, 4 hits last night. That'll do it to you every time. He had a sacrifice and also walked.
.635 for some big men in basketball isn't a bad free throw percentage. 2-0 the count to Blanco to lead off tonight's ball game. We talked about how he likes to choke up there, Rick. And
yes, it is. It's
showing that poke. Showing bunt, but taking all the way there.
The unmistakable strike call of Jim Joyce.
Yep. Hear him all over the ballpark.
Yes, you can.
There's a grounder to short. 1 away here in the first inning. So Genmar off to a good start with that ground ball, and Rick, we've talked about that. Genmar Gomez, to be effective, and he has for the most part at this level this season, has got to have those sinker balls and that ground ball working.
Well, something off speed as well. He's got the changeup and also a slider, but he hasn't really had all 3 of them in any one start. I mean, he works his way through. I want to see him come up. The right-handers against Gomez this year are doing pretty well. They're hitting .328. So that tells me he's got to get a little more effective slider working. He's got a very good sinker.
Jason Kendall takes a strike there. 1-1 now to Kendall.
And he's also got that pitch to left-handers. He can get him on the strike. He aims it at their hip, and it has come back over the inside corner, or the front door, as baseball players like to call it. But he's pitched very well in this ballpark.
Likes it here, the ERA. You can see there almost 6 runs difference between away and home. Now, to be fair, that last outing in Detroit was a rough one for him, and that ballooned his ERA quite a bit, but he's pitched very well here at Progressive Field.
Well, and that was the first time that he matched up against a team twice, and Detroit made their adjustment. 11 hits in 3 innings. And he gave up 3 first-inning runs, and prior to that start, he had never given up a run in the first inning.
Right. 2-2 now to Jason Kendall. 36-year-old catcher. Fouls that one away. And Kendall still at this age, he's a tough guy to strike out. He'll take his walks, and he can foul off a lot of pitches.
Now, I'm still amazed that this guy continues to go out there night after night and catch. He's a gamer. He is out there. We'll see if he's in there tomorrow with the day game after the night game. I wouldn't be surprised.
Another foul ball. Kendall caught last night. He was 1 for 4 with a walk and his 254th career hit by pitch. That leads all active players. And Jason Kendall, he takes a beating whether he's in the batter's box or behind the plate. Again, the 2-2 from Gomez. Another foul ball.
Yeah, it's guys like this that work the pitch count up. You'd rather see a guy in the batter's box that's going to swing hard and swing a miss a few times. This guy shortens it up, and, he'll make you work to get him out.
There's another foul ball. The son of former Padres catcher Fred Kendall, and obviously learned a lot from his dad on how to be a hitter and how to play the game. And he's got an excellent approach, always has really, at the plate.
Well, you grow up around the game and you have a little more insight than most kids that, he grew up out in San Diego with his dad at the ballpark.
Checks his swing there, so Kendall having a heck of an at-bat. 5 fouls in this at-bat, Rick. He had 3 fouls all of last night.
That note had to come from Tommy.
Of course it did. He's on it. Here's the payoff.
Look at this.
The 6th foul ball of this at-bat. Well, Jason Kendall single-handedly here is getting the pitch count up for Jenmar Gomez in the first inning.
Well, the kid, I give him credit. He's not backing off. He's continuing to throw strikes.
Again, the payoff. And that's
there
over for a strike. Well, Gomez wins the battle for his first strikeout tonight, second out of the inning.
Boy, he finally made the perfect pitch. A good fastball down and away, and there it is at the knees. That is perfect. He doesn't pull the trigger, and a great at-bat, but as you mentioned, Gomez wins that battle.
So now Keila Ka'ahue on this 4-game Kansas City road trip has had a hit in all of them. Went 1 for 4 last night. Again, he's in the 3-hole. Billy Butler out once again. He has inflammation of the hand, so not in the starting lineup for the second straight night. This Royals lineup, you'll miss a guy like Billy Butler. Nice young hitter that's coming around. Development this year.
They had 16 hits without him last night.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean? And this guy had 2 hits from Gomez last time in Kansas City a week or so ago. It's all starting to run together, the road trips and the homestands.
That's what happens at the end of August.
Could be the beginning of April. It still happens.
3-0 now to Ka'ahue, the first baseman tonight. Wilson Betemeat is on deck, the DH. He would be next. There he is. Kansas City going with the same lineup they used last night, but as you just said, Rick, 16 hits. That's a good reason to put the same 9 guys in the same order. So 3-1 now to Ka'ahue with 2 outs in the first inning. There's a little nubber foul. So again, Gomez with a full count here. He's already thrown 20 pitches, and he's gotten both the batters he's faced thus far. Trying to finish off Ka'ahue. That one got away, so ball 4 as Ka'ahue works the walk, and Wilson Betemeat will come to the plate here in the first inning. And don't forget, after the Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show tonight, to check out Chuck's last call. You can email him. You can call him. It's presented by PNC Bank. Great way to finish out your evening. Talk Indians baseball or whatever sport you like. Chuck's last call tonight on Sports Time Ohio. There's a strike to Wilson Betemeat. He was 1 for 4 last night with the home run. Got Kansas City on the board when it was 6-0. Made it 6-1. So good numbers on him though this year, Rick.
Yeah, he's fit into this lineup nicely.
He sends that one. Screamer to left, but right at Trevor Crowe. He makes the catch, and the Royals retired here in the first inning. Kansas City nothing. Cleveland coming to bat. We head to the bottom half of the first inning here tonight at Progressive Field, and reigning Cy Young Award winner Zach Greinke on the hill for KC. And he'll be looking at this lineup from the Indians tonight, presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive, proud to be the official auto insurance provider of the Cleveland Indians. Brantley will lead it off, then Cabrera and Chu. Hafner batting cleanup. Nix, who had 3 hits last night, he's in the 5-hole. Then it's Crowe, Laporta, Donald, who had 4 hits last night, and Lou Marson catching. Marson the only difference in the lineup between last night and tonight. Jimenez caught last night.
Well, the 26-year-old will start his 7th year with the Royals and make his 27th start this year. 8-11, couple of complete games, 148 strikeouts, just 38 walks in his 26 starts.
Well, he's definitely put things together, and Zach Greinke has been dominant against the Indians. He'll see Michael Brantley here. And it's 1-1 now. But in the last 8 games that he's pitched against the Tribe, going back to 2008, Greinke is 5-0.
Now, he has some interesting numbers this year. It's, of course, not Cy Young Award winning like they were last year.
Brantley sends that one to the gap in left center. It'll get to the wall. He'll head to second base and stop there with a leadoff double.
Michael Brantley continues to hit that breaking ball, stays back on it nicely, does a nice job going on it. That's a pretty good pitch down and away, a curveball, and he drives into left center field, the 4th double for Brantley. So a very good start now for the Indians. And you better take advantage of opportunities against Zach Greinke. They couldn't do it in their last start, and it was a 2-1 ball game. So anytime you get guys on, you better take advantage of it.
And Brantley also now on an 8-game hitting streak as Asdrubal Cabrera at the plate. And he'll take that pitch in the dirt inside, and I don't think Brantley saw it, so Kendall able to pounce on it before Brantley can advance. Now, Asdrubal Cabrera is one of the guys in the Indians lineup today that has been able to solve Greinke, hitting .462 against him in his career.
Amazing numbers for Greinke. His ERA is a run lower on the road, but he has 2 wins. He's 2-6. He's 6-5 at home with a .435 ERA. So it's hard to figure out.
Sure is. That foul ball is heading towards the seats. It'll make it. About 8 rows up. Nice play on a bounce there by a fan. So 1-1 to Asdrubal Cabrera. Greinke with the ERA below 4, but his overall record this year 8-11.
Well, a lot of times he just doesn't get the run support. I mean, you look at his year last year, and 16 wins.
Cabrera with the bunt. It's a good one. Greinke barehanded play, off balance throw, and he got him. Good quick play by Greinke after a nice bunt by Cabrera to get Brantley to third.
I'll tell you what kind of athlete is Greinke? He came all the way down. That was a great bunt. Watch how he pounces up. Look he's running to begin with. He's like a cat. And just a one-hopper right there. Beautiful play. It's a sacrifice for Cabrera. Nice job by Asdrubal. He tried to make that third baseman field it, but boy, does Greinke cover some ground out there.
He sure does.
Beautiful play.
So Cabrera does his job, getting the runner to third now with less than 2 outs for Shin-Soo Choo, the Tribe's best hitter. And he'll take that first fastball inside.
Yeah.
The infield is back, too. They're going to give him a run.
You give that run there. I mean, you have confidence that you're going to score. It's only the first inning. And for Greinke, he's a strikeout pitcher, so he's got the capabilities of striking a hitter out.
2-0 now to Shin-Soo Choo.
Managers, when they leave that infield back, when you have a good pitcher, they don't want to see a jam shot just blooped over the infield and just make it to the outfield grass. They'll have confidence in their pitcher, either getting the pop-up or the strikeout.
Swing and a miss there. It's Greinke right now. Steady diet of fastballs for Shin-Soo Choo with that four-seamer. There's Brantley at third. One away here in the first inning. And Choo hits that one hard to the first baseman, and that's going to get the run home as Ka'ahue takes care of Choo at first, but Brantley scores. 1-0 Tribe.
Well, good job to get him over and get him in. Brantley going on contact, and that ball was a bullet. Ka'ahue over at first base was thinking about maybe making a throw home, but Brantley had a good jump and to no avail. So the Indians will break on top 1-0.
And the only reason he could think about that, Rick, was because Shin-Soo Choo hit it so hard it got to him in a hurry. So now Travis Hafner with 2 outs and nobody on. Take that pitch inside. Travis has had a good second half of the season. Since July 3rd, he's batting .333. And that covers 25 games. Also a couple of homers and 10 runs batted in. You see the numbers there before and after the All-Star break. There's a strike. We talked a little bit about it last night. It's so important for Travis Hafner, especially in that cleanup spot now, Rick, in this lineup, which doesn't have your veteran hitters other than Choo and perhaps Cabrera. He's got to produce. So far he has here since the All-Star break. Shot to left field. That's going to fall in there. Hafner thinking about going for 2, but he got about halfway and comes back. Boy, Alex Gordon didn't seem like he had a good read on that.
Well, he's playing Hafner over in left center field, so he wasn't going to catch it anyway. He realized, I'm not going to catch it, so you just have to play it on a hop. And he did, and Hafner took the wide turn, but Gordon was ready to throw it. You see, it jammed him. Nothing you can do defensively. Watch where he has to come from. So he was just waiting for that ball to hit. He's saying, hit the ground, let me pick it up, and I'm going to go to second base.
So Travis Hafner aboard with a 2-out single. And now Jason Nix, who had a 3-run homer last night and was 3 for 5 at the plate, and he drives that one to right. However, Myers going back. He'll make the catch. And the first inning's in the books here at Progressive Field. Indians get a run. They lead it 1-0. hard, eat fresh. By Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. And by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Boy, another gorgeous day today in downtown Cleveland. Some of the folks enjoying it downtown. The restaurants. Tribe ahead here 1-0 as we head to the second.
Yeah, absolutely. Picture perfect day. No humidity. Just great.
Really can't top it. And coming up to what I think is the best month in Cleveland, September. Seems to be 70 to 75 every day.
I'm going to have you out to the pool and get a little color for that September 11th game.
So we could match a little more?
Absolutely.
All right. Got the darker hair, though, too. It kind of accentuates your tan more than mine.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Want to note Alex Gordon, the 5-hitter in the KC lineup. He'll be followed by Bloomquist and Meyer. Fouls that one away. Last night, Alex Gordon put 3 good swings on the ball for KC. Had a couple of hits, too.
Well, every time we've seen him this year, since being called up, he's swung the bat very well against the Tribe. Playing now out in left field, no longer a third baseman.
Good pitch there by Gomez. I think it's that little cutter action there hitting the corner.
On the outside. That sets up the pitch that he could get him for. See if they throw it right now. That fastball, it starts at his hip. Nope, they went back away with another breaking ball. But, you know, when you can throw that little cutter on the back outside part of the backdoor variety, then you get that hitter looking away and you can come back in and it locks up. It has, to this point, a lot of left-handed hitters.
Just misses outside there, so the count goes full to Alex Gordon. Leadoff batter in the second inning here for KC tonight.
A lot of full counts early. That's his third.
Gordon drives that one to right. It'll get down for a base hit. So he continues his hot hitting. Chu will keep it in front of him. So no further advancement for Gordon. He has a leadoff single here in the second. Time now for the AT&T trivia question. AT&T, rethink possible. 4 players not named George Brett have had a 200-hit season for the Royals. Name them. Obviously, it would be 5 players, but everybody knows about Brett. So who are the 4 not named Brett that have had a 200-hit season? Of course, we'll have the answer for you coming up later in the broadcast. Here's Willie Bloomquist. Jim Joyce letting you know that's a strike. Willie was 3 for 5 in last night's game. He had a double and a couple of runs scored. He's now hit in 6 straight games. During the 6-game hitting streak now, hitting .379. Pitch just off the plate. This is tough trying to figure out those Royals. I'm starting to think about that too. 200
well,
hits
that's
in a
what
season.
They do. They distract you when the game's going on. We have to, and try and think and do the game. It doesn't work out.
It's a shot to right field. Chu going back. He'll have room. He makes the catch as Gordon retreats to first. 1 away.
Well, it's KeyBank Kids Fun Day tomorrow when the Indians will wrap up this series with the Royals, and you can save with the WKYC Summer Sunday $3 Kids Fun Day offer. You buy an adult ticket, get up to 2 tickets for kids 12 and under for just $3 a piece. All kids are going to have fun at the Fun Day special out on the plaza. Run the bases after the game. And by the way, it is on WKYC tomorrow.
Here's Mitch Meyer showing bunt, lays it down. That's a nice one. Nix tried to barehand it. Couldn't make the play, and a perfect bunt by Mitch Meyer. That's a single. And now the Royals at first and second with 1 down here in the second inning.
Well, you talk about hugging the line. That was the perfect bunt. Nothing that Nix could do. You're playing back, and he just drops it down, and it's going to stay right on the grass. So even if he lets it go, it would have remained in fair territory. Good bunt. They have 2 runners on now. Second hit in the inning.
And now Unieski Betancourt, the batter, hitting in the 8-hole tonight. Same place he was last night. And he went 2 for 5 in last night's game. Had an RBI single in the 4th. Betancourt shown some power this year with those 13 home runs. He'll take that pitch for a strike.
Yeah, overall, he's having a really strong year offensively. 62 RBIs. He's been down in the lineup, too, in that number 8 hole.
That pitch on the outside corner. Nice one for Gomez. Quickly 0-2 to Betancourt. Rick, when a guy's been productive lower in the order, is there a certain reluctance to perhaps move him up because he's been doing so well, maybe in the 8-hole like Betancourt?
Well, sometimes, hitters feel, maybe like it. The pressure's off of him. I know one thing. When he gets guys in scoring position, he gets really aggressive up there, and he starts swinging a lot of pitches. So he may not be an RBI guy, but he has 3 grand slams this year. The long ball has been the shocker to me.
Yeah, 13 of them this season for Betancourt. Nice when you can get 13 homers here at the end of August out of your 8-hitter. Betancourt stepped away for time. 1-2 here with 1 out. Royals at first and second. 1-0 Indians. And a swing and a foul tip and held on to by Lou Marson. That's a strikeout, the second of the night for Gomez. 2 away here in the second inning.
Did get a piece of it. It looked like Marson able to hold on or get that ball before it hits the dirt, and he certainly does. Good catch, good call. Jim Joyce right on it, and Betancourt goes down as the second strikeout.
So now it's up to Chris Getz here with runners at first and second and 2 down. Pitch a little bit low. Getz had a good finish to last night's game. 2 for 4 overall. He was 0 for 2, but then last couple of times up, got base hits. And he hits that one hard. 1 hop. Asdrubal Cabrera. Nice play. Throws him out. And the Royals are done here in the second inning. So Gomez gets out of it after KC puts a couple of runners on. 1-0 Tribe as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. At 1-0 against Zach Greinke. Crow will be followed by Laporta and Donald, hitters 6, 7, and 8 in manager Manny Acta's lineup here this evening. Trevor joined the hit parade last night for the Tribe. They had 17 hits against KC pitching yesterday and cashed it in for 15 runs. And a nice play by Greinke there. Went up for the rebound, got it, threw him out at first base, 1 down.
Let's take a look at the Royals defense. Gordon, Blanco, and Meyer in the outfield. It'll be Blomquist, Betancourt, Getz, and Kayahue on the infield. As always, Kendall behind the dish.
So 1 out here for Matt Laporta, who hit the 3-run jack last night to get the Indians on the board. And there's a shot to left center field. That one will get down and go to the wall. Laporta around first. He'll head to second for a stand-up double here. And the Indians with the runner in scoring position with 1 down.
Well, the extra base hits continue. Second double of the night. They had 10 extra base hits last night. And Laporta now starting to heat up a little bit with the bat. Got a new order of Louisville sluggers in. Must be the bats. Gotta like him. So Laporta now with his 13th double.
So the Indians in business for Jason Donnell. He had a career-high matching 4 hits last night as he was 4 for 5. Just to get an idea of how well the Indians' offense was last night versus the struggle they had the homestand beginning portion of it against the A's. As Donnell will take ball 1. Last night against KC, the Indians had 17 hits. In the entire Oakland series, they had 20. And last night they had 24 base runners against KC. In the Oakland series, 29. Swing and a miss there. Good breaking ball for Zach Greinke. One of the things that makes him so effective is he can throw that breaking ball. He can throw the curve as low as 63 miles per hour, and he's been clocked as high as 97.
Well, yeah, he has different variations on a couple of his breaking balls. The slow curve is just one that when somebody's on him. But that slider where he throws it to the right-handers, that's his strikeout pitch. It's a devastating pitch when he gets 2 strikes. It's tough to pick up the spin. When he had that 15 strikeout game against the Indians last year, was I think last August 25th. I mean, that thing was unhittable, and it's tough to pick up the spin on it. It was a lot like a Dave Stieb kind of slider, which is by far one of the best there ever was.
1-2 here to Donald.
There it is.
Yeah, swing and a miss. And it's got that late bite, which makes it so devastating.
So as a hitter, you go out and you try and hit that pitch. The next thing you know, it disappears. Not the first strikeout now for Greinke. Watch the break. Late, out of the zone, and it's a ball. So, I mean, you're not going to hit it even if you swing at it.
And tonight's achievement of the game is brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in us all. And well, here's what you were talking about last season, Zach Greinke, in that last bullet point there. It was that 15 strikeout game. Here's Lou Marson. He had the night off last night with Chris Jimenez catching. So 2 outs and a runner at second. Here in the bottom half of the second inning for the Tribe. They lead at 1-0. There's the curve at 76. Marson trying to pick up Matt Laporta at second base with 2 down. Just misses there with that fastball. It's the only thing that makes him so tough, Rick. He's got pretty good location with that fastball, and you mix that in with his breaking pitches, and if you're a batter, I mean, there's nothing you can really sit on.
Well, yeah, you look for his fastball because you're not going to hit a slider if it's a good one. And when you do get a fastball for a strike, you don't want to foul it off or miss it. You want to put it in play. And right now, Lou's doing a nice job being patient up there because, you know, he's just off the edges. Now you have a pitch or a count that you're saying, hey, here comes a fastball. So you sit on that fastball, you look for it. If you get any other pitch, you take it, and you just try and square up on the fastball if you get it.
And Greinke lost his release point there, so it's a walk, his first of the night. Marson heads to first. Runners at first and second, and here's that game last season here.
Oh, you're talking about the 15 strikeouts? Let's watch it. He had everything working. Slider, slider. There it is again. I mean, it was one of those nights, and then you look for the slider, he throws a fastball by you above the belt. And that's where the crowd was saying, all right, let's go. Franchise record.
15 Ks last season. As Zach Greinke delivers a first pitch ball to Michael Brantley, who doubled off him last inning. Came around and scored the Indians' run. So 2 outs with runners at first and second for Michael Brantley, who since his third recall of the season back on August 6th. He's batting .306. And he hits that one up the middle, and it gets through for a base hit. Around third and coming in to score is Matt Laporta, and the Indians take a 2-0 lead.
Well, Greinke made the mistake of walking Lou Marson to have to face Michael Brantley, and he makes him pay. And he did a nice job. He doubled, and I'll tell you, he finds that 2-out base hit. That's a big run right there to get that 2-run lead. Looked like a little two-seam fastball going to Michael Brantley. He hit the curveball, so he didn't throw him another breaking ball. It gets by him into the outfield. Good job of hitting.
Excellent job indeed for Michael, so he gets the RBI single here. Marson moves to third, and now runners are at the corners with 2 outs for Asdrubal Cabrera. He'll take a ball, and Cabrera laid down that picture-perfect sac bunt his first time up to get Brantley to third with 1 out. Now, it's good to get a couple of runs early off Zach Greinke. You said it, Rick. If you don't get him early and he settles in, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and it's always nice to play from in front. You know, I don't care, you're at home. It's something that they haven't been able to do for a while. But, boy, when they had their good streak, it seemed like they always had a lead early in this ballpark, and it let the pitchers settle in a little bit.
Greinke will keep an eye on Michael Brantley. The pitch a little low.
Right now having a tough time spotting his fastball. He's not throwing it for strikes. And give the Indians hitters credit. They're not chasing it.
Patience at the plate has paid off here for the Tribe. 4 hits. They've scored 2 runs thus far. There again, not missing by much, but still missing, and it's 3-0 to Asdrubal Cabrera.
Big difference when you can have the count in your favor because you can get so much more discipline. I mean, you can have it up there. You don't have to swing at a tough pitch. If it's a strike, fine. You're still ahead in the count.
Here's one on the outside corner. 3-1 now. And I think the stats for it was, almost 100 or 150 points difference in the batting average for 0-1 versus 1-0.
Well, that's what hitters look for, man. I mean, that's their key. Why do you think so many pitching coaches want you to throw strike one? Because it puts that much more pressure on the hitter.
So Greinke pitching from behind here, both on the scoreboard and in the count, with runners at the corners and 2 outs for Asdrubal Cabrera. And that pitch was ball 4 as Brantley was running. So now the bases are loaded for the guy you want up there, Shin-Soo Choo.
Second walk in the inning. Now Greinke, he does not walk many. That's only his 40th walk. in 20, now this being 27 starts. He has had 2 or less walks on 20 occasions out of those 26 starts. And he just walked his second in this inning.
So now Shin-Soo Choo, who had an RBI ground out to first his first time up. Bats here with the bag's juice. 2 outs in the second. He fouls that one away. And the first 3 pitches Choo saw in the first inning, Rick, were fastballs. Here, Greinke starts him off with a breaking pitch.
Yeah, that was like a little two-seam fastball at 88 miles an hour. Trying to turn it over, get movement down, and trying to get him to roll over on it.
Swing and a miss.
So far this year, when Greinke has had the bases loaded, hitters 6 for 11 off him this year. So they have had success. And he's given up 1 grand slam. But now he has Choo down in the count.
There are the base runners. And Choo's been very successful, as you just saw with those numbers, with the bases loaded, but he's down here. And he was able to check his swing. They'll check at third base, but third base umpire Jim Wolf says Choo did not go. So 1-2 now to Choo.
Yeah, he did a good job to hold up and not swing at that slider.
Do you double up with that pitch here?
Well, we'll see. That's a strikeout pitch. He doesn't want to give him another fastball to hit. Change the eye level. Again, went above the belt to see if he could get it. So he's gone down in the strike zone with the breaking ball, up with a fastball, and Choo doing everything he can to stay off of it. And again, he did hold up.
Yes, he did. A little closer that time.
Difficult to do, but he's back in the count now.
So now the count evens. That breaking ball in the dirt. So Choo has worked the count full from 0-2.
This has been a good inning for the offense of the Indians. I mean, they only have 1 run in, but they got it with 2 outs. They've made him work. They've made him throw strikes, and now he's got nowhere to go. See if he comes back with that same slider he threw Choo 0-2, and Choo was able to hold up. Can you do it now with a full count?
It's a great question. Perhaps we'll see the answer with the bases loaded, 2 outs. And a full count to Shin-Soo Choo as the crowd comes to life here at Progressive Field, hoping Choo can put a little bit more distance between the Indians and Royals on the scoreboard. There was the pitch, and he just missed. Ball 4. What an eye to take that ball.
I had a feeling it was coming, and I'm going to tell you, Shin-Soo Choo just showed you how disciplined he is. He was down in the count 0-2. They may have felt that that pitch was a strike. Choo didn't offer at it, was patient enough to take it. 3 walks in the inning, and they get that second run. That is very, very big.
So it's an RBI for Choo, his second of the night. 3-0 Indians. Bob McClure, the pitching coach for KC, out to talk with Zach Greinke.
This is, I mean, I knew he was coming. That's his bread and butter pitch, and it's just down. And, it's borderline. But it's low, and the patience paid off. Jim Joyce stays right on it.
And Shin-Soo Choo laid off, and now Jim Joyce has got to go to the mound to break up the conversation.
The big walk here was Lou Marson.
Yep.
With 2 outs, he didn't want to throw him a strike. He rolled it back over to the top part of that lineup, and Brantley got the base hit, and then back-to-back walks.
How many times do you hear if you walk the 9-hitter, it'll come back to haunt you?
Well, it usually does, and it did tonight.
So now Travis Hafner with the bases loaded.
But that goes to show you a walk is as good as a hit.
Yep.
Because it has been in this inning.
And this is another guy that enjoys batting with the bases loaded. 11 career grand slams. That breaking pitch is over for a strike. So the Indians have gotten 3 runs off of Greinke thus far and a chance to get a few more here.
I'll tell you what helps this team, too, the Indians, is they get an opportunity to face Greinke a lot. So they know what his game plan is when he comes in. And when he's on his game, he's going to get you. But this inning right here is I can't say enough about it. It's been a good inning for these hitters just to lay off it and take the walks. There's a pitch that Hafner swings, a little changeup that's out of the strike zone.
Now, Greinke has faced Cleveland 26 times in his career, 21 of those starts. It's more than anyone else.
Right. I mean, they have it being in the same division. They know. I mean, they're going to face him 4, maybe 5 times a year. And they will see him again before this year is over, maybe twice.
So Hafner, like Chu, down in the count 0-2. And he lays off that breaking pitch. So Zach Greinke now 43 pitches and just 22 of those for strikes.
Well, you remember yesterday in the second inning they had a 6-run inning.
Yep.
So far in the first 2 games, 8 runs in the second inning.
And the 29th pitch of this inning for Zach Greinke gets him the strikeout with the bases loaded. So the Indians get a couple more. After 2 innings at Progressive Field, Tribe leads it 3-0. Taste greatness moment will be. As we head to the third inning, the Indians with a couple of runs in the second. They've outscored KC 8-0 now in the second inning between last night and tonight. And overall, 18 runs on 21 hits through 11 innings for the Tribe offense on this series so far.
Well, they've been able to score. They scored 7 in 2 games last time we were in Kansas City. So they've been able to handle the KC pitching.
Here's Gregor Blanco, grounded out to short his first time up. Tried that little running swing attempt like Ichiro does, but he missed
that.
it.
And the old Miguel Delaney, you remember him?
Absolutely.
He would run out of the batter's box and try and just hit it down into the ground. The old run and bunt. But that ball's running away from him.
Yeah.
He wasn't close. He would have needed an ironing board.
It was a little more like a swing, too. I remember Delaney would get up on the bat in the bunt position and try to, literally swing the bunt. But very close.
He'd slug it past the third baseman, just try and get it past the third baseman. I saw him where he was called out a number of times for being out of the batter's box.
I remember that. Always seemed to happen to Delaney in Fenway Park. I remember a couple different times they got him there.
Your memory's much better than mine.
I think you were playing in that game, too. It was like 80 or 81. 1-2 here to Blanco.
I want to send out some get well wishes to Rosemary Meyer, who is in the hospital recovering. Her daughter works here in guest service. This is Lyanne. So, Rosemary, we hope you're doing fine.
Get well soon. Blanco drives that one to right. Chu catches up with it. One down. Time now for our Subway Fresh Face of the Game. For this, we go down to Double-A in the Akron Arrows. Corey Kluber, the pitcher the Indians acquired in the Jake Westbrook deal, last night got the win against Erie, and in his last 3 starts, impressive numbers. That's our Subway Fresh Face of the Game. Subway, play hard, eat fresh. He was leading the Texas League in strikeouts when the Indians picked him up in that Westbrook deal at the trade deadline just a couple of days before. Here's Jason Kendall with 1 out. He struck out his first time up, but it was an 11-pitch at bat against Gomez. Two 2-0 here to Jason Kendall. That one at the knees for a strike. He comes from a very athletic family. We talked about Fred Kendall, his dad, who caught for the Padres. He said his mom was a very good athlete as well, and when Dad wasn't around because he was with the ball club, he'd get Mom out there to play catch, and said he did that for a while, even into his 20s, still play catch with Mom.
I played with his dad. Freddie played here in Cleveland for a year or two. As a matter of fact, he ended up getting traded to Boston.
That was the late 70s, right?
Yes,
78, 79, Fred Kendall. Somewhere in there. Now the 2-2 pitch. And for the second straight time that Kendall has faced Gomez, the count goes full. So 3-2 with 1 out and nobody on here in the 3rd inning. And a swing and a miss. So for the second straight time against Kendall, Gomez strikes him out. 3rd strikeout tonight for Genmar.
Well, you can join the Chew Crew with the new combo pack. You get a reserve ticket in right field lower bowl and a Chew Crew t-shirt for just $30. Combos are on sale now. Stop by any Indians team shop or visit Indians.com.
See the fans sporting the Grady Sizemore giveaway cap tonight.
How do you like those hats?
Looks good.
Did you try yours on today?
Oh, again, my wife got it. She liked it. It was no longer mine, just like the Chew Crew.
We can get you another one.
I might have to get one.
You could have his and hers, and you could put it on when you're cutting the grass on your tractor.
There you go.
Just don't start it on fire.
I'll try not to this time.
I could see you driving down.
Hey, what's that flame? Oh, that's a fire. Okay.
Well, the hat's red, so there's a start.
Blended right in. Here's Keila Kaihue, and quickly Gomez gets ahead of him 0-2. Hue got a walk his first time up. Gomez just misses there with that breaking ball. 1-2 now to the Royals' first baseman. 2 outs, nobody on. Now Kaihue will step out as Gomez taking some time there on the rubber. Pitch hit high in the air to the right side of the infield. Jason Donald under it. Royals go 3 up, 3 down here in the 3rd inning. And the Indians with a 3-0 lead will come to bat here in the bottom of the 3rd after this. for the Tribe. He'll be followed by Trevor Crowe and Matt Laporta. Hitters 5, 6, and 7 in the lineup. And he swings to the first pitch and grounds it to third. And the throw across. Whoa, low throw and in the dirt. Bloomquist with the wild throw, but now Nix made the turn and he's caught in a pickle. Kahue will apply the tag and Nix is out.
Well, I guess it's going to go as an error on Bloomquist, and then on the turn, he gets caught in a rundown. He went the wrong way. He was thinking second base, but a heads-up play by Getz backing it up. He really tried to throw this one. He overthrew it, and then that's where Nix realized, oh, boy, I made a mistake. It was a heads-up play by Getz, the second baseman, to get over there and back up.
That's why you do it.
So they go, 4, 6, 3 after the error.
You back that play up maybe a couple hundred times, and it never pays off, but the one time it does there, and you get the out. So Nix erased. One down here in the third inning for Trevor Crowe. Grounded out to Zach Greinke his last time up. Greinke had a leap to grab the high chopper. Trevor Crowe with the hit and a run scored last night. Takes that one inside. He's been in a little bit of a slump here in August, Rick, hitting just .213 for this month in 23 games.
Well, this is when, when you're a young player and you haven't played at this level for a full year, there could be some times where you do get a little tired, both physically and mentally. If he gets a base knock right there. And there's another two-seamer. He left that ball up, so it made it a little easier for Trevor to go the other way. But I like the approach the Indians hitters have tonight going against Zach Greinke. I really do.
Well, it's good to see. We talked about in the open, can the offense playing as well as they did last night be contagious and continue against a guy like Zach Greinke, who's one of the best in the game, and so far tonight it has.
Yes, I agree.
Here's Matt Laporta. He doubled and scored a run his first time up, as Greinke will keep Crowe close at first. Another quick throw over there.
Well, they realize now with the throwing of Jason Kendall behind the plate that, teams will try and take advantage of the throwing arm. So they may throw over to first base more than normal.
There goes Crowe.
See, that's what they're doing. They're taking advantage of it.
And Crowe gets right in there. Well, they had a couple of stolen bases last night, the Tribe did. And Trevor Crowe gets the Indians' first stolen base of tonight. And here's another look at that stolen base, courtesy of Saucony Shoes, dedicated to inspiring every runner every day. At Saucony, we run. So Crowe showing the speed. He's in scoring position now with one out for Matt Laporta. And Jason Kendall with time. He says, let's go through the signals again.
Another thing that it shows you, when you get a lead early, you can stay aggressive. You can start sending runners. And, when you're playing from behind, it's tough to make outs on the bases. So
Laporta out in front of that one. It's foul. Well, and Matt's shown some power here these last few nights. Homer last night. Homer the night before against the Oakland Athletics. Hit that two-run jack to put Cleveland up 3-2, which would eventually be the final score. And here tonight, Rick had that double to left center his first time up.
Well, we've seen Matt. Matt can become a streaky hitter. And hopefully he's getting into one of those hot streaks.
Greinke taking a look there at Crowe with Getz, who came over to cover. Strike at the knees for Zach Greinke. And that'll put him ahead in the count now, 1-2. Indians with a run in the first, 2 in the second. And now a runner in scoring position here in the third with one out. There goes Crow for third. Swing and a miss by Laporta.
He fouled it off.
He's saying he did.
I thought I heard it.
And Jim Joyce is saying it was a swing and a miss.
Well, then it'll go as a stolen base. Give Trevor another stolen base. I thought I heard a foul tip, unless it was just a piece of the equipment from Kendall.
I heard that too. Heard something. Another look at that stolen base, courtesy of Saucony Shoes, dedicated to inspiring every runner every day. At Saucony we run. So the third strikeout for Greinke, second stolen base for Crow. So he's at third now, but there are two away for Jason Donald. And Jason was a strikeout victim his first time up, but had those 4 hits last night. And he hits that one on the ground to third. Bloomquist, a low throw, but Kaihue scoops it out, and the Indians are done here in the third inning. We'll head to the fourth. 3-0 Tribe. Genmar Gomez, and through 3 innings, both Genmar Gomez and Zach Greinke at 54 pitches on the pitch count.
Well, I like Gomez's 54 pitches a little bit better.
Yeah, 23 in the first inning, but settled down the last couple. 16 and then 50. Second and third, respectively. Bettamy, Gordon, Bloomquist, hitters 4, 5, and 6 in the Royal lineup here in the fourth inning. A swing and a miss. Bettamy lined out to Trevor Crow back in the first inning, his first time up, and he's hit the ball hard this series as well. It's the home run last night to show for it. Wilson from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. Fouls that one off. Bettamy was signed, Rick, when he was just 15 years old by the Atlanta Braves, and they were fined $100,000 for that because you have to be 16 before you can be signed. And suspended 6 months from signing players. But it was a good call at an early age at 15. He's obviously projected well here as he's made it to the big leagues. He got his first hit back on May 8th of 2004. He called his mom at home to tell her about it, and she said, you know, I'm happy about that hit, but I saw you on TV. She said to Wilson, you look like you were 200 pounds. which was about 30 pounds more than what he was supposed to be.
The American food.
He said, well, television adds weight to everybody, Mom.
Yeah, that's our excuse.
There's one out as he flies to center field. And a great organization is the Gathering Place, and supporting and educating and empowering individuals and families touched by cancer is what the Gathering Place does. They do this free of charge, too, from a couple of different locations, Beechwood and Westlake. A $5 donation per home run this year is given by Rick and Matt, while a $50 donation per homer by Great Clips. Currently, we're at $6,060 for the Gathering Place, and what a great place that is.
It truly is. Good people.
One out here for Alex Gordon, who singled his first time up. Gomez now evens the count there on 1-1. Well, since that first inning, and then a couple of runners got aboard in the second, we've seen Gomez settle down and start to find that groove.
Well, he looks under control tonight. And I don't know, maybe he feels comfortable in this ballpark. He has pitched well here, only being his third start, but, you know, the runs early in the game certainly help.
Well, he's retired 6 in a row and make it 7 on that ground out to first base as Matt Laporta will beat him to the bag, 2 down. Let's go back to our STO studios for the first time tonight. Check in with Dave Chudowski and what's happening in the East with the Yankees.
That's right, Al. They're in Chicago, and they have 3 two-run homers, including this one by Marcus Thames to give them a 6-1 lead. It's 6-3 in the fourth right now. By the way, Mark Teixeira left the game with an undisclosed injury. Back to you.
Dave, thanks. So Teixeira leaving the game for the Yankees with an undisclosed injury. That's not good news for New York. So 2 outs here. And on 1 pitch, Willie Bloomquist sends it right back to Gomez, who makes the play. Quickly, 3 up, 3 down for the Royals in the 4th inning. Tribe leading this one, 3-0. Three 3-0, and that man, Genmar Gomez, has retired the last 8 Royals. And he's right now feeling pretty good as you get a look at his pitches by inning. Getting a little bit better as he goes on now, 63 through 4. And the Tribe will try to get him a few more runs. Lou Marson will lead it off here in the bottom half of the 4th. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Brantley and Cabrera. And Marson, first pitch swinging, sends a high hopper to short. Betancourt makes the play, 1 down. Well, Michael Brantley tonight, Rick, couple of hits. They've been big.
The good breaking ball there. He stayed on nicely, went the other way. Michael's a good breaking ball hitter. And then a 2-seam fastball with 2 outs. that drives in the second run of the game, and that was an excellent inning by the Indians. The patience of some hitters and a key base hit right there.
It has been productive when he doubled in the first inning, came around and scored. The base in the second was for an RBI.
What amazes me is, he's a patient guy. He doesn't swing at a lot of pitches. And, I mean, guys can throw him first pitch strikes, and I'm looking, boy, those are pretty good pitches to hit. But he goes deep into the count, and, he ends up getting his share of base hits, and he's a good breaking ball hitter.
He grounds out to Chris Getz at second base there for the second out of the inning, and he's really picked the average up, too, in the month of August.
Oh, I'm not. You know what? I don't look at the average for him because he got off to a slow start. I just look for him to stay healthy and play the rest of this year out so we can see exactly, what we have here.
Tonight's scoreboard update is brought to you by Wendy's. You know when it's real, Wendy's. So 2 outs here for Asdrubal Cabrera. Had a sac bunt his first time up, walked in the second inning. So still not an official at bat tonight for Droobs.
Droobs? Is that his new nickname?
Yeah. Well, remember, I told you about V-Mart last year for Victor.
Yeah, V-Mart. Droobs. I've never heard you call him Droobs.
With Indians on deck, you got to come up with some nicknames.
Okay. Never heard that.
Okay. It's a new one now.
Okay, Droobs.
You're going to use that, right?
No. That's
really?
yours. That's yours. I don't steal.
No, it's his. It's Droobs.
No, that's your nickname for him.
1-2 the count. Zach Greinke now, after giving up a run in the first inning and 2 in the second, settling in a little bit as well. Held the Indians scoreless in the third and trying to retire the side in order for the first time tonight here in the fourth. Cabrera sends that one to left center, base hit.
Look at Droobs.
There he goes, yeah. Likes the nickname.
2 out, base hit.
So he's aboard with 2 outs. And now Shin-Soo Choo, who has 2 RBIs tonight in the first inning. Hot shot grounder to the first baseman, Kahue, to get the run home, and then walked with the bases loaded in the second to plate another. Swing and a miss for Choo. So now with 2 outs, Rick, and Cabrera at first. Now, do you consider another steal attempt here?
I don't. Not until Choo gets maybe 2 strikes. Cabrera not really a good base stealer. So, no, I give Choo a chance to hit. There he tried to throw that real slow curveball. He just didn't get a feel for it. Plus, the reason why you leave the hole between first and second.
Right.
Now, if he gets buried in the count here, he goes to 1 and 2, then you may want to try, and if he gets thrown out, then you have Choo leading off the next inning.
You see that hole. Greinke will throw over.
When you look at Cabrera on the year, he's stolen 4. He's been caught 3 times. But, he's not what I consider a good base stealer. At least not yet anyway.
Greinke just misses there off the outside corner. So 2-1 to Shin-Soo Choo. Has the average up to 295 now. 15 homers, 63 runs batted in. Of course, he missed nearly 3 weeks in July with that injured thumb. Swings and misses there. Well, thank goodness he didn't need surgery, so you get him back a lot sooner.
That's the first thing I thought of. When he went down that night and we saw him come out of the game, we felt, okay, boy, oh boy, this could be, it doesn't look good. And you think surgery. As much as has gone wrong with this team this year, you certainly did.
Cabrera running with 2 strikes as Choo fouls that one away. So, Rick, you nailed it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, now you protect him. If you feel you can run on Greinke or you want to run on the arm of Kendall, so go ahead now. And, if you get thrown out, then Choo gets another crack at him next inning. And you already have a 3-run lead. One more run Manny would love to put on the board, especially in the middle part of this game.
So we'll see if Cabrera is running here. There he goes. Chu takes that one low. The throw down to second base. It's a good one. And Asdrubal Cabrera is out at second base. So Shin-Soo Choo will lead it off next inning for the Tribe because Cabrera's the final out here in the fourth. We'll head to the fifth. 3-0 Indians. McDonald's. Get a new Chicken McNuggets party pack. 50 Chicken McNuggets for just $9.99. McDonald's. I'm loving it. By KeyBank. Stop in and start a conversation and unlock your possibilities. And by Panini's. Now open in Chagrin Falls, Solon, and Brunswick. Visit paninisgrill.com. Boy, what another beautiful day here in downtown Cleveland. Gorgeous night for a game. We head to the fifth inning.
You had enough of me yet?
No. Not at all. Meyer, Betancourt, and Getz, the bottom third of the Royals order. Gomez has retired 8 in a row. And it's 1-1 here to Mitch Meyer. He had a bunt single his first time up.
Well, he's looked a lot different in this start than he did in his last start against Detroit. They got to him early.
Well, Meyer gets to him there as he laces that one to the wall. Shin-Soo Choo won't have an opportunity to get him at second. So it's a double for Mitch Meyer. He's 2 for 2 tonight. The Royals get their leadoff man in scoring position here in the fifth inning.
And the second time they've had their leadoff man aboard tonight, the first extra base hit. And he does a nice job. There it is. He left that ball middle of the plate. Looked like a changeup. He turned it over. Gets to the wall, so we'll see how Kansas City reacts with that leadoff double and a man in scoring position. They left 16 guys stranded last night in the ball game.
That is a ton.
Well, you have 16 hits, you leave 16 stranded, and they put 4 on the board.
There's a shot to left field by Betancourt. Crow fields it quickly, and that'll put runners at the corners with nobody out here in the fifth inning. And the Royals now with the real threat here.
Looks like they're getting a little more aggressive this time around. They're getting to him early in the count, and they're saying, I'm not going to let him get strike one. There's a hanging breaking ball. That's a hanging slider. So 2 pitches. They're mistake pitches in this inning, and both of them have been hit hard by the 7th and 8th batter in that Kansas City lineup.
So now runners at the corners for Chris Getz. He had a hard one-hop ground out to Cabrera his first time up back in the second inning. And an RBI opportunity here for the Royals second baseman. Nixon close at third base. Getz hits that one high in the air to left.
That's not going to get it done.
It shouldn't.
No.
Crow at the catch and not even tagging is Mitch Meyer. He'll just head back to third, and It's a nice out for Gomez.
Yes.
As the double play can get him out of the inning.
That's a very nice out right there without anybody else advancing.
So that'll keep runners at the corners now with one out for Gregor Blanco, who is a very tough man to double up.
He would be unless he hits a one-hopper at one of your middle infielders. You have to pinch him in at the corners as well because he will bunt. We've seen it in the series already. Had a sacrifice in last night's game when they were down 6-0. Or was given a sacrifice. I think he was bunting for the base hit.
And Nix is in on the infield grass at third. Of course, the middle infielders at double play depth. And hits it hard right to Laporta. There's your double play. We'll take it.
Yes, indeed.
So the Royals put runners at first and third with nobody out. And they don't score, even though Blanco hit this one on the nose. Double play gets them out of it. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Fifth inning, Chu, Hafner, and Nix. Shin-Soo Choo was at the plate last inning with 2 strikes when Asdrubal Cabrera was thrown out trying to steal. So he'll start the fifth inning here for the Indians. Chu tonight with a couple of RBIs. 1 on a ground out, 1 on a bases loaded walk. Zach Greinke now to deliver pitch number 68 on the evening. And it's ball 1 to Shin-Soo Choo.
Yeah, and he's back up there after it was deep into the count. And Cabrera got caught stealing. That's a good pitch. Tonight, the Indians with their 6 hits. They've hit 3 the opposite way. They've gone right back up the middle with 2, and they pulled 1.
So they've used the entire field tonight as Chu fouls that one away. And again, he's got 2 strikes on him. These are always fun battles, aren't they? A pitcher like Greinke against a hitter like
good
Chu.
Hitter, good pitcher. Yes, it really is. That at bat that he had to drive in their third run was a terrific at bat. Down 0-2 and work the walk.
Dribbler there. Greinke will make the tag on Chu. So he's retired. 1 away here in the 5th inning. And here's tonight's GMC 5-Star League Leaders, brought to you by the GMC Sierra. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. Zach Greinke, 2nd worst run support in the American League.
That doesn't surprise you. That's why he's 8-11 with an ERA under 4. Kevin Millwood, that goes with the territory. He had the worst run support when he pitched his year here in 05. Felix Hernandez, another guy.
Yeah.
You know, one of your top-notch pitchers, sometimes it just doesn't unfold for you.
Now, a lot of times, too, as we've talked about, that number one will go against the other team's number one as Hafner drives that one to right. Meyer going over, won't get there. Bounces off the wall. Hafner on his way to second. He has a double with one out here in the fifth inning.
Third double. And Hafner's 20th. That looks like it's a changeup. He left upstairs. You see it stayed up, and Hafner takes advantage of it. He did hit it a little off the end. Down a little bit more, and he would have had himself a home run. But it short hops the wall. So the one-out double, hit number 7 for the Tribe.
And Travis with his second hit of the night, so he's 2 for 3. And now Jason Nix. He's 0 for 2 with the flyout. Reached on an error, but not really, as he was thrown out then in the pickle as he rounded first base and tried for second. Indians with 10 doubles here in this series. They had 7 last night. That pitch a ball. And let's take a look at yesterday's great clip of the game. Brought to you by Great Clips. Relax, you're at Great Clips. And how about this 3-run jack by Nix last night?
Yeah, there was 3 of them. They were all fun to watch. 3-run homers. It's a beautiful thing.
Jason Nix with 3 hits last night as well. That was the third one. And he hits that one on the ground to third. Bloomquist off his glove. Betancourt, though, gets it. Throws. Not in time. Hafner had a hold up with the ball in front of him. The Nix will reach there. Is that a hit or an error?
No, that's got to be an error. I mean, because Bloomquist is normally not a third baseman, and that goes to show you how tough that position is over there. When you're not used to seeing the balls come at you with the spin, the minute you start backing up on a ball, you are in trouble. When you start retreating, you don't get the hop you want. You're better off charging it and trying to take it on a short hop, but that's just a tough play, but it will go as an error, the second error for the Royals tonight.
They're both on Bloomquist. They're both on ground balls from Jason Nix.
That's right.
So now Trevor Crow to bat with runners at first and second and 1 out. And the Indians trying to add on to this 3-0 lead. Strike on the outside corner. 94-mile-per-hour fastball for Zach Greinke. Trevor Crow now batting .277 with runners in scoring position this year. He's 1 for 2 tonight. And that one's outside. You could hear Jim Joyce up here say that ball outside.
Yeah. Well, that's Bill Schnack. He's got everything wired down there.
Yes, he does. Our audio
extraordinaire.
Yes, indeed. Extraordinaire is a good name. He likes that, I'm sure. We love Jim Joyce, too. Love that throwback. Let everybody in the ballpark know what your call is and let them know quickly. 2-1 now to Trevor Crow. Tribe scored a run in the first, 2 in the second. That's been it thus far. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Indians. No runs on 4 hits for the Royals.
Well, I'll tell you, you still want to add on. Now, you don't feel comfortable with 3 runs here.
Crow grounds that one to second. Double play ball. Gets to Betancourt on to first. And that's a double play. So the Indians retired here in the 5th inning. We'll go to the 6th. Still 3-0 Tribe. Royals put runners at first and third with nobody out last inning, but he got out of it.
Well, how about that?
Double play.
His last 5 pitches, he gave up the double to Meyer, the single to Betancourt on the first pitch, gets flied out to left on the second pitch, and on the very first pitch, he gets the double play ball to get out of it. Last 2 innings, 16 pitches, Tommy tells me.
And 70 now for the night for Gomez, who will face Kendall here in the 6th inning to lead it off. And he'll take a strike. Kendall, Ka'ahue, and Betamit. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 for the Royals here in the 6th. Kendall, a strikeout victim, his 2 previous times at the plate. That one is inside.
Well, this is a guy, instead of going to a full count, throw him one down the middle. He's not going to hit it out of the ballpark, and hope he hits it at one of your fielders so you don't have to work so hard to get him out. He's been on a nice roll with his pitch count.
There's a foul ball off his foot. Both times Kendall's been up tonight. He's had the full count. He has struck out, but now with this at bat, Gomez just to Kendall alone, Rick, has gone over 20 pitches.
Well, some guys make you work harder than others.
Hits that one up the middle. It's a single for Jason Kendall to lead off the 6th inning here for the Royals. And let's take a look now at your Toyota dealers recap, brought to you by your Northern Ohio Toyota dealers. Chew with an RBI here in the 1st inning to make it 1-0. Then Michael Brantley drives one in. I made a 2-0 try. And Chew again, this time with the walk. That's been the scoring. 3-0 Indians here. 6th inning at Progressive Field. Another gorgeous night for a game. Kila Ka'ahue is the batter. He walked his first time up, popped out to second in the 3rd. And that pitch is low for a ball. Kila Ka'ahue was a football and baseball player in high school. Was a pitcher, though, in high school in Hawaii. Played quarterback on the high school football team. He had a baseball scholarship to go to Nebraska, and he was passed it up to sign with the Royals back in 2002.
Well, it's about the same spot, Nebraska, Kansas City. They're not far away.
He was going to Middle America.
People
one way
that
or
grew
the
up
other.
in Nebraska are Kansas City Royal fans.
Yes, they are. You're right. Marson went out for a little chat with Gomez. As it's 2-0 here to Ka'ahue with Kendall at first base. Nobody out. Gomez about to deliver his 77th pitch of the night. And 3-0 now to Ka'ahue. There's a strike, so 3-1 to Ka'ahue. Last couple of innings, Rick, it seems that Gomez is a little bit more of a struggle now finding the plate. They're locating within the strike zone.
They were aggressive with him last time in the last inning, but he was able to get through it, because they hit the ball right at him at one time, which is fine. This is where you don't want to pitch behind in the counts. Now you're getting through the 3rd time.
That foul ball.
Boy, it went over in the zoo. We had everybody. We got Teen Wolf, we got the Walrus, and even the Hawk is in play. There they are. They're jumping out of the way like they've never seen a baseball before.
Paul Hoyd's the one in the middle. That's the Hawk. He had that ball at him, but he gator-armed it a little bit. Now that one's hit deep to center field. Brantley, though, should have room. Will make the catch on the track for 1 out. As Kendall retreats to first base.
Well, plan a family outing at a Sunday Tribe game and save big with the KeyBank Grand Slam 4-pack. You get 4 tickets, $40 to spend in food and drinks, 4 Indians hats, and a parking pass for just $96. Plus,
Get access to all of the activities out on the plaza. Run the bases after the ball game. Tickets are on sale now. Go to Indians.com.
It's a great ticket deal. The Indians have plenty of those. Head to Indians.com. Now Wilson Betemit. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Lined out to Crow his first time up. Flew out to center field in Bradley back in the 4th inning. So Betemit to bat here with 1 out in the 6th inning. 3-0 Indians. There's Kendall at first. Still a threat to steal at 36 years old. He has 10 this year. And now it's 2-0 to Betemit. So once again, Gomez falling behind the hitter here. He fouls that 2-0 pitch away, so 2-1. Betemit 6'3", 230 pounds.
Well, Manny knows that this young guy, Gomez, he went 7 in his very first start at the big leagues. He gave up 5 hits, and the most he's ever gone since that is 6 innings. But in his last start at Detroit, he went 3 innings, so he has his bullpen ready. You know, you don't expect this kid to take you deep into the game. He's a young man. He's 22 years old, and he's, you know, he doesn't have, 3 pitches going with him, and he knows he's going through the lineup now for the 3rd time. Tony Sipp is up. He's getting loose. And you got the left-hander Gordon on deck. He may make a move whether he gets him out or not.
Betemit drives that one deep to right center field. Forget it. That one is gone. 2-run homer for Wilson Betemit. He got it all right there. And the Royals within 1.
He certainly did get it all, Al. Yep, you fall behind good hitters, and boy, they get selective on you in a hurry. All right, we have another ball game. It's a 1-run game now. Betemit hits his 10th. Hit one last night, a solo shot. And this one was no cheapie. It went a long way into right center field. Out over the plate. You give him some swinging room, and he made you pay.
The Royals with 6 hits now, and they put some good swings here together in these last couple of innings. Here's Alex Gordon. He's 1 for 2 tonight, and he's hit the ball well in these past 2 evenings. And there's Betemit in the dugout. His 10th home run this season, Rick, and there was no doubt about it. Gordon tried to check, could not. Now 0-2 to Alex Gordon. So the Royals within 1 here, and we've got a ball game.
Yes, we do. There's a good slider. See, that's a slider. That's a pitch you want to see him have that has been inconsistent. But with so many young pitchers, it usually is.
The last homer by Wilson Betemit, 434 feet. 1-2 here to Alex Gordon. And a swing and a miss. Foul tip, actually. Marson held on. Nice job by Lou. And that's the 4th strikeout tonight for Gomez. 2 away here in the 6th inning.
Second time that Lou Marson's been able to pick one up from out of the dirt and hold on to it as they get a piece of it. That one goes out of the strike zone. Good location. You get the hitter to chase on the changeup. And there's Lou Marson saying, yes, Jim, I did catch that.
So now 2 away with nobody on for Willie Bloomquist. Flew out and grounded out his previous 2 times at the plate today. There's a foul ball, so 1-1 now to Bloomquist. Was a very good high school football player in the state of Washington. He was on one of their best. One of the things Bloomquist said was, I liked hitting people and not getting in trouble for it. Safety.
He doesn't look that big, though.
Played QB as well, but really appreciated the fact he could go out there and hit somebody. It's a good way to look at it, right? Hit somebody without getting in trouble.
If you're playing that sport, it certainly is. I mean, he runs pretty well. When he first came up, he had pretty good speed, so I could see how he would run around a football field.
Set on the football field is where he developed character. It's 2-1 here to Willie Bloomquist. As the Royals have gotten it to within a run on the Wilson Bettamy 2-run homer. Now Bloomquist with a 3-1 count. As Gomez approaches 100 pitches at 93 right.
This will be his last hitter no matter what happens, I would think. If he gets on, he'll be gone for the left-hander, and if he gets him out, I'm sure he'll be done after 6.
Bloomquist, checked his swing, but not in time. So a full count to Bloomquist here with 2 outs and nobody on in the 6th inning, but the Royals with those 2 runs home have made this a 1-run game. Down low, ball 4.
Go get him, Manny.
Here he comes. He'll make the call to the bullpen, and Tony Sipp will come on. So Gomez will finish the evening after 5 2/3 innings. Bloomquist on first base is his responsibility. He can win it, can't lose it. We'll take a break. Tony Sipp will try and get out of the 6th inning for the Tribe when we come back. Pitching change.
Well, Tony coming on for the 56th time. Tony's record is 2-2. And you have to like the way this bullpen has been pitching for Manny Acta. They have really come into their own. They've allowed 2 runs in their last 19 1/3 innings. So over the last 15 games, since August 11th, it's posted a 1.61 ERA, and Gomez gives up a couple of home runs. Again, it's the long ball. Gave up 2 solo home runs to Kansas City the last time he started him. It cost him a game. He has an opportunity to win this game if the bullpen can hold on and if they can maybe add on. His runner is responsible for the man on first.
That's Bloomquist with 2 outs. To the plate, Mitch Meyer, and there goes Bloomquist, and Sipp picks him off. Throw down to second base, and he's a dead duck.
How about getting it out with not throwing a pitch?
Gotta love that. So Sipp gets the Indians out of the inning, but the Royals get a couple on the Bettamy 2-run blast. So we head to the bottom of the 6th. KC now within 1. 4:24 cap. Matt Laporta will lead it off here in the 6th for the Tribe. It'll be Laporta, Donald, and Marson, bottom third of the Indians' order, against Zach Greinke, who's now at 80 pitches tonight.
We'll see if that 2-run blast gives Greinke a little boost of confidence here, because it gets him right back into the game and only keeps him down 1 run.
Yeah, they struggled a little bit in the first couple of innings, but now, Rick, these last 3 innings really has found that groove.
Yeah, but he's yet to have a 1-2-3 inning. I mean, so, the Indians they've had a pretty good approach against him tonight.
Just as I say, he finds the groove, he promptly delivers one in the dirt.
And to me, I mean, after watching this guy pitch many, many times, it's been his fastball command that he's had problems with tonight. Sometimes looking like he's overthrowing a little bit. But we told you that at the outset, he's 2-5 in this ballpark. So even though he's pitched very well against the Indians, this park he doesn't like.
Laporta breaks his bat there. Betancourt makes the catch on the pop-up for 1 out. And time now for our answer to our AT&T trivia question. AT&T, rethink possible. 4 players not named George Brett have had a 200-hit season for the Royals. Name them.
Well, Johnny Damon's got to be one. Okay, Willie Wilson has to be one. One guy that I never thought of would have been Mike Sweeney. And Kevin Seitzer, their hitting coach. But he had, in '87, I'm not sure if that was his rookie year or not.
Meanwhile, Donald with the ball in the hole, and he'll beat this one out. Nice effort by Yuniesky Betancourt, but that one just too far in the hole. And Jason Donald, after a 4-hit night last night, picks up his first hit tonight. Now let's talk a little football now. Go back to the STO update desk. Browns and Lions update from Dave Chudowski. What's happening, Dave?
Hey, Al, the Browns look good in the first half. Here's Eric Wright with a 44-yard fumble return. They led 10-7 after one, 24-14 at half. But in the battle of the backups, the Lions win. Final score 35-27 Lions.
Dave, thanks. And I've got a feeling this year we're going to see some high-scoring Browns games. Offense looks a little better.
Well, that's what you were telling me before the game. Yeah, you're going to see some high-scoring games. But like you said, I like offensive football and defensive baseball.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Love to see the points in football and in baseball. I don't think
there's anything the pitching.
Yeah, anything better than a 1-0 or a 2-1 well-pitched ball game.
Well, we've got a 3-2 game here. Will that do for you?
Not bad. I'll take it. As long as the Indians are on the winning end. Here's Lou Marson. He walked and scored back in the second inning, grounded out in the fourth. We talked about that being a key walk in that inning, Rick, when the Indians got 2 runs. The 9th hitter, runner on second, 2 outs, he walks, and then eventually 2 runs would score because of it.
Well, absolutely. The first base was open, but you're not going to walk the number 9 hitter if you're Zach Greinke. He's a right-handed hitter. That was a very good at-bat. And then Luke comes up in his next at-bat and swings at the first pitch and grounds out to short for an easy out. But, I mean, he had a good look at a lot of pitches in that first at-bat.
Hits that one foul, so the count will even on Lou Marson.
There are times when you face good pitchers that you feel, okay, I've got to go up and swing early in the count. Well, those guys are good enough where they don't have to throw you strikes and you'll get yourself out. Right. But in his first at-bat, he didn't do that.
There's a 1-1 count here. Hits that one hard to second. Getz was going to cover second on the steal. Safe there as Donald hustled in. The relay to first gets Marson, so 2 outs. But Donald was able to get in there as he was running on that pitch. And now the Indians will get a runner in scoring position with 2 outs for Michael Brantley.
Yeah, you start the runner, and that's what you're trying to do to stay out of the double play. Marson goes that way well. It's just that Getz didn't get over there enough to cover. Able to track that ball down, and Donald did beat it, but they do get the out at first base. But now you've got Brantley, who's got a pair of hits tonight.
Also a run scored and an RBI for Michael Brantley. He'll try to get the Indians some insurance here in the 6th as they lead it by 1. And he lines that one to left field, but it's right at the left fielder, Alex Gordon, who had him played perfectly. So Brantley hit it hard, but right at him. And that's the end of the 6th inning. We'll head to the 7th. 3-2 Indians.
Rethink possible. By the Sierra from GMC. Never send a truck to do a Sierra's job. And by Wendy's. You know when it's real. Wendy's.
We go to the 7th inning here. Indians lead the Royals by a run, trying to win their 2nd straight over KC, their 3rd in a row overall. And Mitch Meyer, who was at the plate when Tony Sipp picked off Bloomquist last inning, will bat.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, I think he picked it's happened more than once this year with Tony Sipp on the mound where he came in, retired a guy, and never threw a pitch to the plate.
Yeah.
I think it's the 2nd time it's happened.
Didn't he do it back in May?
I think he did it before. I don't know the date or the month.
There's a grounder to 2nd. And a quick play by Jason Donald to retire Meyer. And there is one away here in the 7th inning. In the month of September, when the Indians hit a home run on STO, we'll be giving away Coca-Cola for a year.
All right.
This sounds great. Winners will receive 24 12-packs of Coke. Visit STOHD.com now to register. I like it. Unfortunately, we're not eligible.
That's okay. I'm not.
But you are at home. Check it out at STOHD.com. Nice website, too. It just keeps growing as well. Plenty of resources there. Yuniesky Betancourt looks at a ball. Struck out and singled back in the 5th inning. Two and 0 now. Tony Sipp has really done a nice job. He had that month or so where he struggled from mid-May to early June, but early in the year, great, and since then, he's been great.
Yeah, unlike, many relievers, you're going to hit your spell where you have a little slump. He got through it, been pitching very well, and gets out number 2. Well, he can step up to the plate for Big League BP. This will all take place September 3rd right here at Progressive Field. Take live batting practice from the one and only Big Lenny Barker. Enjoy a meet and greet and dinner with behind home plate with Len after it's all said and done. Tickets on sale now. Call 216-420-HITS for full information. And Lenny's got his knees replaced. He may be bringing some gas up there if you want to take some batting practice. Just don't leave the yard because he may knock you down.
I remember a few seasons ago, Lenny and I would be together when we have some of those workout days at Progressive Field. And I'll tell you, he has to be the most patient guy alive because every single person talked to him about the same topic.
Well, of course. The one and only.
And asked him the same question pretty much at some point. Lenny, when did you know you were going to have that perfect game? And He just sat there and went through it, and I mean, really is a good guy. If you like baseball,
no
like to
doubt
talk
about
baseball, he is a great guy to talk to.
Yes, he is. He's one of the best.
He was still throwing it pretty good then. Now, this was before the knee replacement.
Yeah, well, he's good. He's lost some weight. He's looking svelte.
Large Lenny. Here's a base hit to left field for Chris Getz with 2 outs here in the 7th inning. So he's aboard for the top of the order, and Gregor Blanco.
Here's a pitch that he left middle of the plate in. And for that left-hander, that go the other way. Short, compact swing. 2-out base hit. Hit number 7 now for the Royals. Their big hit was the 2-run homer by Bennett in the last inning.
So now Gregor Blanco, who had 4 hits last night, but is 0 for 3 tonight. He did line out into that double play to Matt Laporta to end the 5th inning in a Royals threat.
That ball was hit right on the nose, though.
Sure was. 26-year-old from Caracas, Venezuela. Throw over to first, gets back. Blanco comes from an athletic family as well. His dad played in the Venezuelan minor leagues, and his uncle played baseball with Omar Vizquel.
Well, not a bad guy to play with.
Coming up there, no, not at all.
That lineout was going to be our McDonald's. I'm loving it. Ends the inning, and it ended abruptly, man, on 5 pitches. They had first and third, nobody out, and that line drive right there took care of it.
So that ended the threat in the 5th. Benamed with the 2-run homer in the 6th. As Blanco shows bunt, but takes a strike here. Twice now he's had 2-0 tonight, Rick, and he's showing that bunt, and it's pretty obvious he was taken the entire way.
Well, when you're a leadoff guy, you're facing a tough left-hander. There's 2 outs. You're down a run. His goal is to try and get on base, push that 1 run on first into scoring position. He's not a home run hitter. I mean, his job is to get on base. And he'll take another one here. I wouldn't be surprised 3-1 and force Tony Sipp to throw 2 strikes in a row.
Right-hander Jason Kendall is on deck. So after 2 quick outs for Tony Sipp, single by Getz. Blanco drives that one to center field, but Michael Brantley cruises over, and he's right there. Blanco hit it on the nose, but he's retired here in the 7th inning. Stretch time in Cleveland. Try by a run. Soon to Twinsburg. Log on to Panini'sGrill.com for a list of locations. So we head into the bottom half of the 7th inning. 3-2 Royals. Zach Greinke will remain in there. He's thrown 88 pitches, but really has gotten economical of late. Just 10 pitches in the 3rd, 13 in the 4th, 12 in the 5th, and 9 in the 6th inning. There's his line. He'll see Cabrera, Chu, and Hafner here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Cabrera's been productive tonight. A sacrifice back in the 1st inning, which got Brantley to 3rd, who would eventually score. Walked in the 2nd, singled in the 4th. And he hits that one.
Oh, boy.
Right back at Greinke. He can field his position well. He's got those quick reflexes, and there's one away. And here's tonight's Taste Greatness Moment, brought to you by Miller. For this, we go back to Cleveland and KC from June of last season. Shin-Soo Choo and the Dove.
Boy, remember that.
Was the game winner. One more time.
Down goes the bird.
He got up and flew away, so he was still okay. And that's tonight's Miller Taste Greatness Moment. Speaking of Shin-Soo Choo, here he is with one out, nobody on in the 7th inning. That fastball in tight to Choo.
You know, Greinke in his last start against the White Sox, he went 8 innings, gave up 9 hits and a couple runs, and boy, they needed him badly because that was on the heels of a twilight or a doubleheader. They were rained out against the White Sox, and they played 22 innings in the 2 games. So the bullpen was exhausted. He came out the next day. He had a no decision, although the Royals did win, but he gave them 8 big innings. He's going deep into this game tonight.
Yes, he is, here in the 7th inning. Indians scored a run in the 1st, 2 in the 2nd. KC with a couple in the 6th. And that's been it tonight. 3-2 try. Royals with 2 runs on 7 hits. Indians 3 runs on 8 hits. Couple of errors for KC. No errors for Cleveland.
Well, and the left-handers have done a nice job off Greinke. 6 for 13 left-handers have been.
And Chu works a walk for the 2nd time tonight.
Well, the White Sox are coming to town as of Monday. It'll be a 3-game series. It'll be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And you want to check out the AM/PM all-you-can-eat seats. Unlimited dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, and Pepsi products for just $32 a ticket. 216-420-HITS or visit Indians.com.
And Rick, for the pregame show, I know how you like to see me get around the ballpark. So on Monday night, we're going to head over to the bleachers Monday and Tuesday to do Indians on Deck.
Beautiful. Where are you going to be located?
I think the home run porch.
Okay.
Right next to that social deck, but actually on the home run porch.
Let me see. You go on it now. Batting practice is over, so you won't have to watch your head.
Yeah, I might need a spotter. If I need one, would you be out there for me with the glove?
I can't, Al. I got something I got to do.
Monday.
You won't need a spotter. BP's done by 6:30.
That's true. That's true.
That'll be fun.
Yes, it will. New spot for us. There goes Chu running on the first pitch. Good throw by Kendall and got him at second base. That was close.
Well, you know what? He's saying he tagged him on the shoulder, and out comes Manny Acta. He disagrees with the call from Mike Estabrook. He wants an explanation where, because it did look like the tag was high. Well, he did get him on the back. Now, was Chu's foot there? He felt it was. That was, a tough angle. It was bang, bang, any way you look at it. But it's going to go down as another caught stealing.
And it appeared Chu got a fairly good jump.
He did.
Great throw by Kendall.
Well, look at his back. He tags it back, but does he tag him before the foot gets there? He's in front of the bag. He might have been safe. From that angle, when you slow it down, and they don't get a replay like this, but it looks like, no, he gets him. That's if his glove is on the back right there, he did have him before he got in. Boy, a couple of good-looking angles, guys. It's just a tough call no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, great job by our crew tonight. Mike Simons and Steve Bardo working the replays and the tape. There's Travis Hafner now with 2 outs and nobody on. So Chu erased on a caught stealing. It's the second caught stealing of the night for Jason Kendall.
Well, give him credit. He knows they're going to run, and they're trying to throw over there and do as much as they can, and he's throwing out 2 of the 3. Let me see. Crow got another one. That's right. 2 of the 4.
And 2-1 on Hafner. Greinke about to deliver his 99th pitch of the evening. Good breaking ball. Did Hafner hold up? No, he did not. Jim Wolf says he went too far, and still be throwing that type of pitch with that sort of break out of here.
The slider. That's the one that a lot of hitters can't lay off, and he did go around.
Here's the 2-2. And a swing and a miss. Hafner, got a little piece of it, but held on to by Jason Kendall. 4th strikeout tonight for Greinke. 7 innings in the books at Progressive Field. 3-2 Indians.
Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians.
We go to the 8th inning. Tribe leads at 3-2, and a new pitcher on. Joe Smith is in the center of the diamond.
All right, you've got Kendall, the right-hander, the left-hander. So Smitty's coming on. I mean, it's not just matching up anymore for Joe Smith.
So we'll see Kendall, Kahue, and Bedemeet. Hitters 2, 3, and 4 for the Royals in the 8th inning. Indians lead this one by a run. And a first pitch ball to Jason Kendall.
Well, you got Perez up in the bullpen right behind him, so I'm just wondering if Smith's not on just for one hitter, to be honest with you.
Well, Perez had that 5-out save two nights ago.
Well, no, Rafi Perez, the lefty's up.
You're right. I was thinking Chris. There he is.
The red glove.
He hadn't started to throw yet. I didn't see if it was his left or right hand. 3-0 now to Kendall. Right-handed hitters batting just 182 against Smith this season. And there's a strike. Kendall tonight 1 for 3, a couple of strikeouts, but he singled his last time up in the 6th and scored the Royals' first run. And that Bedemeet 2-run homer. And ball 4. So Smith walks the leadoff hitter here in the 8th.
He was on to face one hitter and walked him. He had 2 walks in his last outing, so that's it. He's going to go to Perez.
So Smith done after 1 batter. And now Rafael Perez will enter the game, the 4th Indians pitcher of the night. And we'll take a break. We'll tell you about Rafael Perez when we come back. 3-2 here in the 8th inning. Tried by a run. Royals with the tying run at first base with nobody out.
Well, Perez coming on for the 57th time. This is a guy that you can really count on, and you've been able to count on for the last 3 months. Rafi won an inning in his last start against the A's, who had zeros across with a strikeout. He's on to face some left-handers now, while Benjamin a switch hitter. But you have Ka'ahui and Gordon to follow with the tying run at first base. You know they're not going to bunt in this situation.
So Kila Ka'ahui will bat with the tying run aboard and nobody out here in the 8th inning. He walked his first time up, popped out and flew out his next 2 times. And Perez has been very effective as the season's gone on. He's gotten better since July 8th. He's only given up 3 runs in 21 innings. And 19 of his 21 appearances have been scoreless.
Well, command of the breaking ball, the slider, that pitch right there. Well, we said he has a great slider. His ball moves all over the place, but, you know, earlier in the year, and actually last year, he just couldn't control it. He was falling behind everything. And this guy's done a complete turnaround from the first 2 months of the year.
That one fouled away, so Perez quickly gets ahead of Ka'ahui. 0-2. Defensively, Rick, they're playing him right up the middle. The outfielders are pinched the right and left fielder towards the middle, and Nix is well off the line at third.
You know, they'd love to get a double play ball is what they'd love.
That would be the ideal here. And he hits that one to left center. Crow going back. He'll make the catch on the track as Kendall heads back to first. 1 out. And Wilson Benamy, he's been able to go a yard last night and tonight.
That one was a changeup out over the plate. And tonight, there's that fastball away. He was able to get a hold of and crush us. Last night, solo shot. Tonight, 2-runner.
Those were both batting left-handed. He'll switch around to the right here. Now he's a .230 career hitter as a right-handed batter heading into this season, but this year, Rick, batting .348 against lefties with a couple of doubles and 4 homers. So he's been very effective from this side of the plate this season.
You know, sometimes with switch hitters, too, you just never know. They can go out one year and they smoke from the right side of the plate, and then the next year it seems like they can't buy a hit. It's hard to explain. I do know one thing. Switch hitters tell you it's tough to maintain on both sides of the plate.
Right. And it's the first time this series we'll see him batting as a right-handed hitter. And that pitch,
boy.
a wild one. Marson keeps it in front of him, but it squirts to the left and allows Kendall to move down to second base.
Well, not what you want to see in a one-run ball game for that ball in the dirt. Not much you could do there. That's the 6th wild pitch for Rafael Perez. Now base hit can tie the ball game. Although Kendall, he runs a little better than average. Runs okay for a catcher.
So Kendall now in scoring position with only 1 out. Betemit to try and pick him up. Again, ball in the dirt there, blocked by Marson. 3-0 the count. Alex Gordon, the left-hander's on deck. You can see what he's done with runners in scoring position. Betemit has been effective this year. That's why he's batting cleanup in the DH role now for KC. Betemit taking all the way there. 3-1 now. There's Gordon on deck. That one lined into right center, a base hit. This will tie the ball game as Kendall comes around to score. Brantley slides to cut it off in the gap, but it's still a double for Betemit, his 2nd hit of the night, and the Royals have evened the score at 3.
Now that leadoff walk, come back, haunt you. That run will belong to Joe Smith because he came on to face one guy and he walked him. And he comes around to score. Good at bat. He had the count in his favor, so he wasn't trying to hit a home run, just looking for a pitch he can handle. Well, he's driven in all 3 runs now for the Royals tonight. He just traded positions with him. Now they've got the go-ahead run in scoring position. So Zach Greinke now at least off the hook.
And Gomez now can no longer be the winner tonight.
Exactly. That takes Gomez off the hook as well.
So here's Alex Gordon. The Royals now with an opportunity to take the lead. The go-ahead run at second with 1 out. Gordon 1 for 3 tonight. It's the first time he's seen a left-hander this series. That one grounded foul. So the Indians, who led this one 3-0, have seen the Royals tied with a couple in the 6th and 1 here in the 8th. And KC still batting. That one fouled the play. And really the first time, Rick, that we've seen the bullpen let down the Indians starting pitching in a while.
Well, the unfortunate thing, it was a walk. I mean, and Smith came out, his job was to face one hitter, and it was going to be Jason Kendall, and he walks him on 5 pitches. And, you know, it ended up costing him. A wild pitch didn't help. It got him into scoring position. You know, little things. When you're in a one-run ball game, and believe me, Kansas City knows that. They played more one-run games than anybody. They're 24-24 going into one-run games. But, you know, little things, the walk, a wild pitch, you set it up, you fall behind, they get a base hit. That's just how it works out.
And the runs and hits even on the scoreboard, 3 and 8 for each ball club tonight. And a 2-2 count to Alex Gordon. with Willie Bloomquist on deck. Benameed in scoring position. And again in the dirt. Well, we've seen a lot of balls in the dirt here from Rafael Perez.
Yes, we have.
Not just following through a little too much there on the breaking ball?
You know, I don't know. He's not up in the zone. You know, if he misses, he wants to miss down. He fell behind Benameed, and he took advantage of it. You got to pitch up in the zone, so he's concentrating. If you're going to go miss down in the zone, and that's exactly what he's doing.
The payoff, swing and a miss by Alex Gordon. So Rafael Perez comes back to strike out Gordon. Second out of the inning.
That was a good pitch. Good breaking ball, little slider, 3-2. Down at the knees, he swings over the top, so he gets the second out.
And now he'll face Willie Bloomquist, who's 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. He was the man that was picked off by Tony Sipp in the 6th inning to end it when Sipp came on and didn't throw a pitch in relief of Genmar Gomez to finish off the inning. But now Bloomquist with the chance to put the Royals ahead with Benameed at second base. Tribe and Royals will finish this series up tomorrow afternoon. The ballgame's on Channel 3, simulcast here on STO. 105 first pitch, also Kids Fun Day. Get here early for the kids to enjoy it out on the plaza. Grounder to third. Nix. Tough play.
Safe!
And safe at first base. Good scoop by Matt Laporta. Bang, bang, but beating it out is Willie Bloomquist, and now the Royals with runners at the corners.
Told you he could run. I mean, he still has good speed. And when you have to go back and wait on that ball, and that's exactly what Nix had to do because it wasn't hit hard. It's going to take that big hop. So he waits for it there. You've got about as far as throw as you can make. He has to plant his foot, and it is bang, bang, but they say he beat it at first base, so that prolongs the inning. They'll go as a single, and it gives Kansas City an opportunity.
And Tim Belcher out to talk to Rafael Perez, and it appears we're going to have a pinch hitter. Looks like Jay Miller.
Right, that's exactly who it is. Jay
Stepped
Miller is right. Coming in for Meyer. Miller for Meyer.
Sounds like 2/3 of a law firm. So Jay Miller get his first plate appearance of the series here. I'm sure that's what Tim Belcher was talking about, going over the report with Perez,
Exactly
how they want
right.
to pitch him.
That's exactly right. They saw he was coming up to the plate, so they have all the scouting reports. They just want to refresh the memory of Rafael Perez.
Jay Miller, one of those young players the Royals have called up. He started in left field on Wednesday against Detroit, was 1 for 5. He got his first major league hit on Tuesday in Detroit. He was recalled August 18th from Omaha.
Yeah, he had an at-bat when we were in Kansas City. I think he was just called up that day. Oh, boy.
Well, how about the job Lou Marson's done here this inning, keeping the balls in front of him?
Well, he knows when he puts a sign down, because Perez has been in the dirt a little bit tonight, he better beware. Look, that's a good job of just smothering that ball. He wasn't looking anywhere to do but block that ball and keep it in front of him. You've got the go-ahead run at third base. That's where if you're the runner at first base, man, you take off because the catcher's got to look down at third before he can throw to second.
Ground ball up the middle. Cabrera hustling, will step on second, and the inning's over. So Rafael Perez gets out of it, but the Royals tie the game with a run here in the 8th. We'll head to the bottom half. 3-3 now in Cleveland. Now, if the Royals even this game in the top half of the inning, and Zach Greinke, who's thrown 100 pitches tonight, is back out there to start the 8th. There's Jay Miller, who replaced Mitch Meyer. He'll also take his spot in right field. For the Indians, Nix, Crow, and Laporta here in the bottom of the 8th. The 5, 6, and 7 hitters in Manny Acta's lineup.
Well, he went 120 pitches in his last start when I said he went 8 innings against the White Sox. And Ned Yost, the skipper, says, man, I need him for one more inning. He doesn't want to go to that bullpen.
No one's even up yet in the KC bullpen, so for now it's Greinke. And it's 2-0 to Jason Nix. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Both times, though, he's been safe on an error because of the third baseman, Willie Bloomquist. Those have been the only 2 errors this evening for either side. However, in the third inning, took 2 wide of a turn at first and was caught in a rundown. 2-1 now to Jason Nix. He had that 3-run homer last night in the 8th inning. Indians would settle for a solo shot here to give him the lead. And a grounder right back up the middle. Greinke's made a couple nice stabs tonight, and there's another. 1 out in the 8th inning.
This is the second straight inning where he's gotten the leadoff man to just hit one hoppers right back at him. Of course, he makes them look easy. They're not as easy as he's making them look, but coming at you, easy out.
Trevor Crow, the batter, with 1 out. He's 1 for 3 tonight. And he'll take a strike from Greinke. Greinke's become more effective here in these last couple of innings.
Yeah, it's almost like he's not overthrowing now. He's just trying to concentrate on hitting his spots. And 2 quick outs.
Chris Getz retires Crow on the grounder there. And Monday night here on Sports Time Ohio at 11, it's the debut of the MAC Football Preview Show. Matt Underwood sits down with Frank Stamps and takes an in-depth look at each of the schools in the conference. The MAC Football Preview, that's Monday night at 11, right here on Sports Time Ohio. It's the first year that we're with the MAC. I think we have 6 football games on the schedule and 33 basketball for women's and men's.
Beautiful.
Plenty of coaches shows, weekly shows from the schools around the conference will air throughout the week. We'll take care of you here on STO. 1-0 to Matt Laporta. A nice curveball there for strike 1 from Greinke. 78 on that one. We talked about it earlier. He really can run the spectrum on the speeds with that curveball. Laporta tonight 1 for 3 with the run scored back in the second inning. Fouls that one off. So 2-2 to Matt Laporta.
Yeah, that was his fastball he had to hit right there. I have a feeling he's coming back and going to see another slider.
Matt's homered in the last 2 nights. Thursday against Oakland. A 2-run shot. Last night a 3-run blast off Brian Bullington. He hits that breaking pitch to second. We'll throw him out. The Indians retired here in the 8th inning. 3 up, 3 down as Greinke cruises through it. We go to the 9th. Tied at 3. 3, and Rafael Perez will come out for his second inning of relief work. He'll face hitters 8, 9, and 1. Betancourt, Getz, and Blanco in the Royals lineup. Betancourt has hit the ball hard tonight, but nothing to show for it. He's 0 for 3. I beg your pardon. He had a single back in the
hanging breaking ball, yeah,
and was erased.
And they went first to third.
Now the Twins beat the Mariners earlier today. 1-0 was the final score, and the White Sox right now losing to the Yankees 10-5 in the 8th. So Minnesota could add another game there in the Central. Meanwhile, Betancourt grounds out to short. Cabrera makes the play. 1 down here in the 9th inning. And the Spark of Hope presents its second annual Keeping Dreams Alive event on Friday, October 22nd at the Holiday Inn on Rockside Road. A Spark of Hope seeks to raise public awareness and money for pediatric blood cancer research and provide financial support to families. The event includes dinner, drinks, and dancing, a live and silent auction, and much, much more. Visit asparkofhope.org for full details. Worthwhile cause there. So Chris Getz, who's 1 for 3 tonight, he singled in the 7th inning. He'll bat with 1 away. Red Sox leading the Rays tonight 2-1 in the 8th inning. And we talked about that, a huge series in the East, Rick. The Red Sox and Rays. Boston's got to take it to Tampa.
Well, they're 2-1. They beat them last night. So they had a couple of their aces going.
With the Yankees winning 11-5 in the 8th inning, they of course want to keep up with them as well. So 1-2 now to Chris Getz. KC bullpen busy. Chavez and Soria. Soria there on the right, just going easy. If the Royals would get the lead, obviously he'd get the call to pitch the bottom half.
Absolutely. He's just getting loose in case they get the lead.
Two and two now to Chris Getz, formerly of the White Sox. Came over last offseason with Josh Fields for Mark Teahen. Foul ball there. Perez at 25 pitches in relief now.
Well, they felt they could get rid of Getz because when you got Beckham, who was at third base, and knowing they were going to put him to the middle of the infield, that made him expendable. They weren't sure this guy was going to hit enough.
And he hits that one to second. Jason Donald. Get Getz, 2 down. And then back to the top of the order, and Gregor Blanco. He's hit the ball hard tonight, but 0 for 4. $16,372 here tonight at Progressive Field on Grady Sizemore 24 cap giveaway night. Kids Fun Day tomorrow, 105. The Indians and Royals will finish out this series, but the Indians will have 3 more games at home on this homestand, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, against the Chicago White Sox. Perez just missing there. That'll be a good series, interesting series, as the White Sox still trying to run down the Twins in the Central here. Two 2-0 now to Blanco. Now, last 2 times he's had 2-0 tonight, Rick. He's shown the button, pulled it back. Let's see if we see it again.
What, just taking a pitch, trying to, just getting a look, trying to upset the pitcher. Don't you remember guys that used to square around and the guy was throwing, except now relievers come out of their stretch with nobody on. It's not like they go to a full windup anymore.
He just takes all the way there for a strike. Royals acquired him on July 31st from the Braves, along with Tim Collins and Jesse Chavez, who you just saw in the bullpen warming up for Kyle Farnsworth and Rick Ankiel. And a late swing and a miss there. And a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. So 2-2 now to Blanco. As Rafael Perez tries to retire the Royals in order here in the ninth. Fastball again. And it's outside. Full count now to Blanco. There's Kendall. He would be next. Rafael Perez and the Progressive Field faithful would like to see the ninth inning ended right here with Gregor Blanco. Here's the payoff. And a base hit for Blanco, his first tonight. And he's aboard with 2 outs here in the ninth inning.
There's that short swing. Not much of the bat, puts it in place, slaps it to left field. 10th hit for the Royals. His first, he had 4 last night. So now Perez has to face one more hitter.
And Jason Kendall struck out his first 2 times up, but walked and scored in the 8th inning. And previous to that, singled and scored in the 6th. Pitch in the dirt. Blanco thought about heading down to second, but Marson had control.
Well, if you've been watching this game since Perez has been in as a base runner, you're certainly going to be watching for anything in the dirt, because he's thrown a number of them where Lou Marson has had to block him and pick him out of that dirt tonight. Already has 1 wild pitch, and that's when the tying run came around to score last inning. The leadoff walk, a wild pitch after he had the first out, and then a double.
And now 2-0 to Jason Kendall. Kendall hitting .255 with runners on base this year. He was 1 for 4 last night, 1 for 3 here thus far this evening. .3-0. Now the first 2 retired on ground balls, Betancourt and Getz. Perez made it look fairly easy, but now after the Blancos single, Jason Kendall with the 3-0 count, and there's Kila Ka'ahue on deck. Ball 4. So that'll push Gregor Blanco, the tying run, into scoring position now with 2 outs down to second, as Kendall walks for the second time tonight. And Lou Marson will talk to Perez. And Billy Butler has come out on deck. He will pinch hit.
You know, I was wondering if he was able to pinch hit. I thought they may do it last inning after the Jason Kendall walk to lead that inning off. But he let Ka'ahue hit, but not now. You've got the game on the line. You've got 2 outs, and Butler, your best RBI man, and the guy that is your best hitter with runners in scoring position, going to get a pinch hit appearance.
Well, Butler missed last night and didn't start tonight with inflammation of his right hand.
Well, his first pinch hit appearance this year.
And he's hit in 11 of his last 12 games as you get a look at his numbers there on the season. And these past 12, he's hitting .341. And he also has a 12-game hitting streak against the Tribe that goes back to August 26th of 2009. And he's ahead here 1-0. There's the base runners. Blanco on second. Kendall on first. 2 outs here in the 9th in a tie ball game. Billy Butler just looking for an RBI base hit. Two and 0 to Butler.
Yeah, right now Perez trying a tough time. It's going to, Tim Belcher's got to come out and try and settle him down. He's shaking his head. Now, I don't know if he thinks that some of the pitches he's throwing are strikes. I don't know, but he had a look on his face right there.
He's throwing 6 straight balls. Now Jim Joyce will head to the mound to break up the conference.
This all started with 2 outs now. Yeah, I mean, a big and good at-bat by Blanco to stay alive, slap a pitch the other way. Was it a full count pitch, I believe? Slapped it the other way, and then he walked. Kendall on 4, and he's fallen behind pinch hitter Billy Butler, 2-0.
So the Royals, who are down 3-0, they've tied it at 3 with 2 runs in the 6th and 1 in the 8th. Now trying to get the go-ahead run here in the 9th. 3-0 to Billy Butler. And you got to believe the Royals are going to make him throw a strike.
Well, yeah, I would think so. Absolutely. You've got the guy that's done all the damage on deck, who has all 3 Kansas City RBIs.
It's Wilson Betemate and Tim Belcher seeing if the bullpen's ready. There's a strike.
Yeah, there's the one you're taking. Now he'll be ready to go.
So 3-1 to Butler with 2 outs in the 9th inning. And Royals at first and second. And he hits that one high in the air to center field, and Perez is going to get out of it. Brantley camping under it. And we'll head to the bottom of the 9th inning. 3 all at Progressive Field. And Royals are even at 3. And Kansas City will go to the bullpen for the first time tonight. Jesse Chavez, who came over from the Braves at the trade deadline, is in.
Zach Greinke went his 8 innings. He settled down nicely after the Indians scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second. They were not able to push anything else across. Gave up 3 runs, walked 4, struck out 4, and turning it over to his bullpen now. Butler remains in the game at first base.
Hitters 8, 9, and 1 in the Indians lineup. Donald, Marson, and Brantley are the scheduled batters. Jason Donald 1 for 3 tonight. He singled his last time up in the 6th inning. swinging there on the first pitch and fouling it straight back. Strike one to Jason Donald.
Well, there you go. Watch out in the living room. Dive out of the way. That's coming awfully hard.
Strike two, so Donald quickly down on the count. 0-2 here. Well, the Indians trying to win it here in walk-off style. They led this one 3-0. The Royals have tied it. Here's a pitch on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch by Chavez. And out number one in the ninth inning is Jason Donald, a strikeout victim.
Well, he didn't waste any time, boy. That's a perfect pitch on the outside edge. And that goes as a strikeout. Called.
Lou Marson 0 for 2 tonight. He walked and scored back in the second inning. A strike on the outside corner. Well, Chavez isn't being shy about it. 4 pitches, 4 strikes for the reliever. Well, he's just nailing that corner.
Boy, is he ever. He's got it zoned in, doesn't he? He is dialed in right now.
Oh, 2 to Marson. He's able to foul that one off. Marson trying to find a way on here with 1 out in the ninth inning. And for the first time tonight, Chavez throws a wide one. So 1-2 to Marson. 3 runs on 10 hits, couple of errors for the Royals. 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors for the Tribe. Brantley waits on deck. Marson pops that one into short right. Gets going out. Coming in is the right fielder, Miller, and he makes the catch.
That was a much tougher play than you think. They were on a collision course. You know, and it's the outfielder, he's telling them right now, I tried to call for it, you know, and you have to wait sometimes. I think either one of these guys could have caught this ball, Al, but then at the last minute, Getz finally hears Miller say, I got it. And see, he did not want to collide. He hangs on, and the infielder's job is to go out until you hear the outfielder call for the ball. When you do, you peel off, and obviously it was a late call, and sometimes it happens that way.
So Marson retired. As Jay Miller makes the catch in right, 2 outs for Michael Brantley. And it's 1-0 to the Tribe leadoff hitter tonight. Doubled his first time up, scored a run, singled and knocked in a run in the second. Then he grounded out and lined out, but Michael Brantley he's been on it in a good rhythm here in the month of August at the plate.
Yeah, he's looked very good at the plate.
It's a 2-0 count here. 3-0. Well, the Indians would love to start a little 2-out rally here in the ninth. There's Chris Perez. And he's been thrown. He's ready now to come on for the 10th. Should it go that far? Brantley taking all the way. Three and one now to Brantley. He drives that one high in the air to center field. Can of corn for Gregor Blanco. And 9 innings are complete at Progressive Field. We have extra innings tonight. 10th is next. Stay tuned. Beef jerky all season long. Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side.
Oh, you know, I like beef jerky, but with Jack Link's, when we know it's extra innings.
Led to the 10th, and Chris Perez on.
All right, this is what happens. You know, you're at home, you bring your closer in.
Chris Perez has been outstanding for the Tribe.
He sure has. His last save, a 5-out save.
Yep. Came on Thursday against Oakland. He'll face Bedemy, Gordon, Bloomquist here in the 10th inning. Going to meet with all three KC RBI tonight. Since June 28th, Perez has allowed 2 earned runs in 22 1/3 innings. And 21 of his 22 appearances have been scoreless.
You know, I see an attitude developing in this guy, you know, where he feels very comfortable. He wants the ball, and he's not afraid to fail, which you have to be as a closer. He goes out there. He's aggressive. He's been pounding the strike zone. And, you know, ever since he's not going back and forth with Kerry Wood here, who never really fit in this year and had injuries, this Chris Perez has been very good.
And he said since he came over here in the trade last year, his goal was to be a major league closer. And the good thing was, Rick, you know, and you said he went back and forth in that setup role with Kerry Wood. This year he began the year as the closer with Wood on the disabled list.
Right.
When Wood came back, he assumed the role, and Perez was great about it. He said, hey, Kerry Wood's the closer on this team. When he's not here, I'll close. When he's back, I'll set up for him.
Well, I like, this guy is, I think he's got the makeup to be a very, very good closer.
And unfortunately for Chris Perez, he walks the leadoff batter here in the 10th inning. And here's what Bedeme's done tonight. Hit the home run, 2-run shot in the 6th inning to get the Royals on the board. Then he doubled here in the 8th inning to tie the game at 3, scoring Kendall. And now he's aboard here as the go-ahead run in the 10th inning. Nobody out for Alex Gordon. Left-handers this year have hit .244 against Chris Perez. Righty's just .168 as Gordon showed bunt, but took that fastball right down the middle for a strike. Gordon 1 for 4 tonight, but he struck out his last 2 times. Nixon about a foot behind the cut of the grass at third. Now he's charging. He'll field the bunt.
Nice bunt.
Yep. Got the job done. It's a sack for Gordon. Bedemy moves into scoring position. 1 out here in the 10th inning. Scored 5-3 on the sacrifice.
The second sacrifice for Gordon, the 40th for the Royals, and this was done nicely. It hit the lip of that grass, and it even deadens it more. But you get that runner in the scoring position now. And now it looks like it's going to take a base hit.
Willie Bloomquist will have the first crack at it. He'll be followed by Jay Miller, who came on to pinch hit for Mitch Meyer back in the 8th inning. Bloomquist tonight 1 for 3 with a walk and a single. Takes that pitch for a strike. Infield at normal depth. The outfield is playing fairly shallow. They want to try to cut that runoff at the plate with the base hit. Just see it there. One and one now to Willie Bloomquist. And against Chris Perez, when he's going as well as he is, Rick, in his last 7 innings, he's only given up 2 hits, no runs, and 10 strikeouts as a hitter. What would be your approach here?
Well, you don't look at those numbers when he's coming in. When you're playing against a guy, you know what he throws. He's got a good fastball and a good breaking ball. You're going to try and get on that 94, 95 mile an hour fastball. And you hope he doesn't have control of both, his slider. When he has control of both pitches, he's tough to hit. You hope to get in the hitters' counts like you have now, 2-1. There you go. He got a fastball and fouled it off. That one looked like it had a little run to it coming inside. Hitting is so difficult to begin with. You know, when you're facing guys that throw in the mid-90s and, you know, they're your best, the closers or, you know, your top-of-the-line relievers or starters, boy, that's tough enough to hit them, you know,
right.
when they're on their games, you're not going to.
Here's the 2-2 now to Bloomquist.
Look at that.
Perez throws smoke on the outside corner. 95 and strike 3.
That's exactly what I'm talking about right there. You're not going to hit that. You can't hit him when he makes pitches like that. He had his pitch, he fouled it off, and other than that, see, as a hitter, you're saying that ball's outside. It's low and it's outside, but looking at that box that we have, it's right there on the outside edge. Bloomquist didn't think so.
Jim Joyce did. 6th strikeout of the night for Indians pitching. Now Jay Miller, the rookie. He's 2 for 11 on the season. He takes strike 1. Pinch hit back in the 8th. Grounded out to Cabrera to end a Royals threat.
Sometimes as a hitter, you think that plate is about 23 inches wide instead of 17.
Yep. Grounder to third. Nix with the long throw. And got him at first base by a step. Nice play by Jason Nix. And the Royals retired here in the 10th inning. We'll head to the bottom half. Still tied at 3. Chavez will work his second inning of relief for KC. And they'll see hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the Indians lineup. Cabrera, Chu, and Hafner. As the Indians look for a run in their 5th win in extra innings this year. Cleveland 4 and 3 in extra frames. Kansas City 10 and 5. The Royals have played in a lot of close games this year. You mentioned it earlier, Rick. 48 games, 24 and 24 in one-run affairs.
Yeah, that's most of anybody in baseball. I mean, both leagues. The Indians have played in 34. And when you even expand that out to a 2-run or less, it's even more than that.
2-0
Kansas City.
And out of Cabrera. 9th inning in Chicago. Yankees lead the White Sox 12-7. Twins already victorious earlier today. So perhaps Minnesota can put another game between them and the Chicago White Sox in the standings. There's the strike. 2-1 now as this crowd's getting into it. Open Cabrera and find a way on here in the bottom of the 10th. And he drives that one to right.
Yes, he did.
Miller going back. This one close to the foul pole. It is gone. Home run, Asdrubal Cabrera. A walk-off winner for the Tribe.
That's the way to do it, in dramatic fashion.
Well, Asdrubal Cabrera doesn't hit many homers, but that's the time to hit one. Bottom of the 10th in a 3-3 game, and the walk-off winner makes the final score 4-3 Tribe. They've won their third in a row, second straight over KC, and they'll go for the sweep tomorrow afternoon at 1:05 here at Progressive Field against the Royals. And tonight's key play of the game brought to you by Key Bank. Switch to Key and get a free Sony Bloggy. Visit key.com/bloggy for details. I don't know, Rick, what do you think it is?
I want to look at that replay because I haven't seen it yet, and I know exactly what it's going to be. A fastball down and into Cabrera. It's going to be down the line. He knew he got enough of it into the Royals bullpen, and the Indians win in dramatic fashion. Keep their winning streak going. They've won 3 in a row. What a better way to do it, man, right there at home plate. That's going to be our Key Bank key play of the game.
So the Indians a winner in dramatic fashion tonight after taking the Royals 15-4 last night. Either way, it's in the victory column, and this one an exciting one tonight for 16,000 plus at the ballpark. Stay tuned. The Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care postgame show is on the way. We'll have a postgame guest. But first, Dave Chudowski at the